success.
What's up? Welcome to your favorite podcast, The Ain't Shit Show, the home of booze, views, and unpopular opinions. I want to thank you for joining us for episode 92.
Yeah, what up?
My name is Fresh, and I'm one half of the pod gods, and with me is the best man in all of podcast land, my right-hand man, Mr. B.
Yeah. Fuck is up? I know the drill. It's good with y'all niggas. Yeah, niggas is alright. That's how niggas in Wu-Tang talk. It's good with y'all niggas. You gotta watch Wu-Tang. That shit good as fuck.
Hey, I was just about to say, you from New York now?
You gotta watch Wu-Tang. Y'all niggas is alright. Y'all niggas, the nigga that's playing Raekwon get on my fucking nerves, but other than that, shit is a good ass show.
Who playing Raekwon? Is he a notable guy?
The dude from Dope. The little nigga from Dope.
Yeah.
The movie Dope.
Got you. He was playing Raekwon. That little arrogant nigga?
Yeah. He doesn't need to be arrogant because he's not really doing a good job.
Oh shit.
I mean, like, he's, I mean, for what it's worth, he's the most experienced actor in there, you know what I mean? But he's just not really doing a good job. Davies does a good job. The nigga who does RZA's character does a good job. I don't know. I forgot his name. Yeah, that shit dope, man. That shit a dope show.
Okay, Bay East. I ain't know if Davies was gonna be a good actor.
Yeah, he do a real good job. I mean, you know, he playing a rapper from New York, so you know
it ain't a stretch, right?
It's not a stretch. No, it's not like a cancer patient or some shit. But he doing a good job though. Like
he ain't doing a 50 Cent in what's that fucking movie? 50 lost all that weight.
I know he's talking
he
about.
was sick as fuck.
Movie, though.
And that shit didn't get no awards or no buzz or none of that shit.
And then he done put on like 50 pounds, I think. He said for a role he doing now.
Oh word.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of weight for that nigga. That nigga already a big nigga.
Yeah, he already a stocky ass dude. You know what I'm saying? His face gonna get wider. He gonna probably be looking like a thug ass Cedric the Entertainer.
Like a Rottweiler.
True, he do have that square jaw.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe that's because it's got reconstructed.
Yeah, true. And them big ass teeth he got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how was your weekend, my man?
It was good. I ain't do too much. What'd I do? I ain't really do nothing. I went to see Joker on Saturday. That shit was
How
wild.
Was that?
That is a wild, dark ass fucking movie. That shit is fucking nuts. Like, it was interesting. Like, I didn't really know what to expect because like the previews, they ain't really show shit, you know what I'm saying, purposely, because it ain't really shit that you could show in that.
Yeah, I didn't see much on the preview either.
Yeah, the previews, that's what made me so intrigued. I'm like, oh, this shit probably wild because they ain't fucking showed shit, you know what I mean? Like,
they hit you with the less is more.
Yeah, and that shit, like, it's not really, it's a movie worth watching, I'll say that. It's not as good as like some, like the Batman series and shit, but Joaquin Phoenix probably gonna get a damn Oscar nomination because he played he played the fuck out of that role because it's like basically the origination of fucking Batman. I mean, of Joker. So it's like it's how he becomes the Joker and shit, and it just has like a play on like mental illness and shit. And it's fitting for the times, you know what I mean? Like it's actually very fitting for the times. It's an interesting movie. Like even if you don't have any like any comic book allegiance or any type of fandom or whatever, it's still like worth seeing because it's just like it looks just like a fucking mental health patient, you know what I'm saying? But it ties still into the to the comics and shit wild.
How many stars? How many thumbs up out of 5?
Out of 5, I'd probably give it like 4. It's worth seeing. It's a really great it's a really great acting job. I applaud the acting. The storyline is kind of dark and super fucking twisted. It's kind of like not a scary movie necessarily. It's just like a sick ass
dramatic
movie.
Okay.
It's just sick. Like it's just wild. Like niggas getting they fucking head blown off, but you see it like happening over the course of time. Like niggas just get pushed to his edge. It's pretty. This shit was worth watching. It's some wild parts in there that like me and my wife was the only people laughing at in the fucking movie.
Laughing. Y'all like, fucking psychopaths.
Yeah. But the shit was funny. I'm like, why? I felt like the niggas who weren't laughing was psycho. Like, this shit was funny as fuck. Like, what's wrong with y'all niggas? Like, this shit was not, but it was crazy. You should go see it. It's worth seeing, I think.
I probably will. I probably won't pay to see it, but I'll see it.
It was between
Gemini came out?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got any feedback on that?
I ain't see it.
Okay. I didn't know if you know somebody who saw it. I don't know
Oh,
anybody who saw it. I didn't even know it came out, this weekend or whatever. We need to think of our own, rating scales instead of thumbs and stars. We need to think of our own type of rating scales. But if you give it 4, I would watch it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And like I said, it's worth watching, especially like if you like the Batman shit with Heath Ledger when Heath Ledger died. It's not as good as a movie as far as like cinematography.
That's what's going to be my question. Is the acting better than Heath Ledger?
Yeah. Well,
is the movie better?
If you think about it, like Heath was only like screen time, maybe 25, 30 minutes. This is him the entire movie. Like it's focused on him. Like for 2 hours, it's Joker. So he had more to work with, but it was equally as good, I think, in terms of like the acting, cause Heath Ledger smoked that shit. But, this is him the entire, like this is him before he get to become like the crazy ass Heath Ledger. Like, and then you see him become the crazy ass nigga, and then that shit, like the light bulbs switch off and shit. That shit crazy.
So does it make you, when we talk about like, mental health and things like that, that's actually the trigger that actually pulled me in and like, oh, okay, that twist, I can see how that worked.
Oh,
but
yeah.
With, the mental health piece of it, Joker has always been the villain. Does the mental health piece of it make you sympathize more with him and who he became and why?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do. I mean, yeah, hell yeah, because you see him like, because he just get pushed to an edge, like bullied, and then like not
like a school shooter. He had to become the Joker.
Kind of, sort of. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, don't ruin it. Yeah. All right.
That shit good.
You got
though.
me interested.
That shit good. I mean, it's worth. It's a movie that you must see. You know what I mean? Not must see, but I think everybody should see it just to make their own opinions off it. Cause like I was sitting beside these 2 little young white girls and shit, cause like we had assigned seat, so we got the tickets late, so I ain't sit beside my old lady. And
damn,
cause it was
date night and y'all can't even sit together.
Cool, we was in shit. We good. We only children.
Hey, y'all married when you like shit. Fuck it, we cool.
Yeah, I mean, we came together.
You good over there?
But like the little white girl, like I'm laughing at shit, and she like, wow. And I was like, yeah, that shit is fucked up. And she was like, who wrote this fucking movie? I was like, I don't know. But that motherfucker was having a bad day. That shit, wow, yo, that shit is crazy. Like, it's mad. I would love just for you to see it, cause certain parts that I laughed at, I'm pretty sure you would laugh at too. Like, I'm pretty sure. I know your sister.
Don't make me psychopathic like you, bro.
Yeah, it won't. But it was just, the shit was wild. That shit was wild. If anybody's seen that shit, I wish I could talk to somebody who's seen that shit, cause I'll spoil it. I don't give a fuck. But since you ain't seen it, I won't
spoil it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Cause you actually have me interested in seeing it.
It's good. So. It's worth seeing, man. It's worth seeing. Especially like if you can catch a matinee or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I went tonight, but if you can catch a matinee, that should be good.
I've been going back and forth about this fucking movie pass to get.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
And look, in life, like you always trying to wait till some shit line up, right? So I'm just like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna get the movie pass when I go, I got like 2 or 3, weeks where I ain't got shit planned. So I get my money's worth out the movie pass. In real life, if I go to the movies twice, I've gotten my money out of the movie pass cause the shit less than $30.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to just go ahead and get that movie pass because I spent $30 on worse shit. You know what I mean? Sure. So I can just go see the shit and not have to think twice about go seeing that and some other movies that I want to go see because Gemini Man looked pretty okay too.
Yeah, I'll probably get out of whirl. I love going to the movies. Like I've always enjoyed going to the movies, and now they got the recliner shit. I be in that bitch maxing, relaxing. I'm too big for the ones that fucking at the Alamo though. Shit's always fucking like declining on me and shit. Like them shits like start reclining and then they just hit the floor. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey, it's so crazy because you go into a movie theater and you like it's a $5 joint by my mom crib, and you go in that bitch. You know why it's $5? It's not that the movie don't show no different. The floor flat as a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dollar movie
like
that.
Fuck? Yeah,
they used to be a dollar movie. It used to be $1.50, and now that shit done went up to regular price. I'm like, gentrification is real as fuck. That shit done ain't the movies. Hey,
shout out to the $1.50 in Blue Ridge.
It's not $1.50 anymore. Let's not shout it out. It's $7.
$7?
Yeah, I talked about that before.
That being $7? No, you never talked about it being $7.
I definitely talked about it being $7
on this show.
Absolutely.
I
like
don't
early
remember
on
that.
in the early parts
Okay.
of the show.
It might have been a long time ago where it's shocking again to me.
Yeah.
But
hell yeah.
$7?
Yeah, because
the
you was
most I
like, many
played
of
was
dates
$2.
have been on that shit and all that shit like that. Yeah.
Bruh, that shit used to be lit for $2. I remember it was $1.50. Then I think it went to $2. But that's the last thing I remember. Did they renovate that bitch?
It's exactly the same.
Oh my God.
Still
for
look like an ashtray.
$7?
$7 fucking, my nigga.
I'm in full Soulja
That's what I'm
Boy
saying.
mode
That's
right now.
gentrification that hit the goddamn movies. And that shit's
Y'all,
like,
hey,
that
listen,
shit
white
ain't even
people,
in an
y'all gotta
impoverished
go
area.
back. Y'all gotta go back. y'all gotta go back to wherever.
All these motherfuckers coming
Hickory
in, man.
Farms or wherever y'all from. Like, y'all need to go back.
Tell me about it.
There, because we not racist, but y'all impeding on our pockets when y'all come to the new hip spots and now it's $7. That's crazy. It's a movie theater, in my neighborhood, and it's an older movie theater, and that bitch $12. And it's like an older theater. Like the rest of the movie theaters, like for regular non-matinee start at like $14, $15.
Mm-hmm.
And this one $12. So one day I'm just like, I had never been, even though I've been in this area for 4 years since I moved here. I'm like, oh, let's go to this jump $12, and it's right up the street. Went in that bitch, I was like, oh, this is why it's $12, but really it should be like $4.
For sure.
Like, that is crazy.
The building should be paid for at this point. Like, what the fuck? What are you charging me for? Like, why
Hell
is it so expensive?
yeah. And them shits be old as shit on the inside. Like, you think they still got a film out that bitch.
You could smoke in it. Like, you could tell niggas used to smoke in that bitch. That's all that motherfucker is.
Hey, yo, it be mad crazy. Like, I don't know what it is about smoking history, but when I hear about places you could smoke in, I just be like, what the fuck? You can smoke on a plane. You can smoke in the office at your desk. Like, what the fuck type of world were we living in? That's when America was great, according to the white man. Like, that is crazy. Like, can you imagine sitting across? Can you imagine
smoking
sitting
on an
across
airplane
from somebody? Yeah. Like, imagine being at your desk and a nigga right across from you just blowing.
Yeah.
Like,
I think, but being on the airplane is the worst shit ever. Like, I think out of all the places that you can smoke, like, it's no escaping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cigarette smoke, it is no escaping, goddamn. Like, when you at your desk, you can get up and walk away. You know what I mean? And go somewhere else. Like, I mean, obviously you gotta sit there for the majority of the day, but at least you can get up and get a break. Ain't no goddamn getting up and getting no break out no fucking cigarette. And that shit is tight, and that shit would drive me nuts. I hate cigarette smoke to the point, like, I fucking loathe and detest fucking cigarette smoke. Like, that shit it just smell like poison. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that shit. I can smell cigarette, weed smoke and cigar smoke even more so. But that cigarette shit, that shit just smell like that shit is just arsenic and ruining your fucking existence right away.
I've been hanging out with a friend that enjoys dive bars, right? And when I think about like dive bars, and especially like in Atlanta, I'm still thinking about like older spaces, but they still kind of like black and shit. Yeah, I mean, you might go and smell hookah smoke or weed, but I've been going into these places where the first thing that hits you when you go through the door is cigarette smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so crazy because I've been in Atlanta 4 years, right? So is smoking outlawed in public places in North Carolina now?
Yeah.
Okay. So that has to be on the more recent side.
That should have been mad long.
How long?
Like 10 years.
Like clubs?
Well, private establishments you can smoke, but like you can't just like go down
not
to a
like
restaurant.
In a Starbucks or nothing like that, but
you ain't no restaurant, nothing like that.
So like, I've been here, and when I go into places and I smell cigarette smoke, like it just catches me totally fucking off guard. Or when I go somewhere and I smell cigarette smoke, like it catches me totally off guard. Where I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, and I think that is crazy. Like when I think back on it, and it just makes me think about how long it takes to impact change, right? So they started this shit a long time ago to make like our generation think like cigarette smoking was uncool. You know what I'm saying? And then we still have a couple outliers in our generation who is just like, yeah, I used to smoke, but I stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, I think about like my mom and dad and all that. My mom doesn't smoke anymore, but like my mom and dad, like my dad used to fucking chain smoke like all the time.
Yeah. Both my parents used to smoke.
I think that is like crazy, but it happened gradually, but it now is like the standard. Like if somebody smokes cigarettes, you looking at them wild, like, well, you smoke? Like, what the fuck? A nigga can say they do weed, drink alcohol, do coke, like do a whole bunch of shit, do Molly, and you just like, whatever, you do you. You know what I mean? But cigarette smoke, you really like frown up, like you smoke cigarettes, bro?
I know mad niggas that still smoke cigs. Like,
really?
Hell yeah. All my homeboys, most of my homeboys still smoke cigs. Like, one of my homeboys, I hate going to his fucking house because, like, it smell like fucking cigs. Shit, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, like we go watch the fight and shit, it be fucking, but that's my nigga though, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm mad at my homeboys still smoke cigs. I don't understand that shit. But niggas be like, they don't eat pork and shit. Like, fuck out of here.
Right. You don't eat pork and pussy, but you smoking cigarettes. Like, right. What the fuck are you doing? Get your life together.
Oh, every nigga eats pussy. Don't believe the hype. Niggas don't eat pork, but niggas definitely eat pussy. For sure.
Niggas try to eat pussy sometimes. But it's niggas out here that'll stand up in the fact that they don't eat pussy.
I don't know too many. And if they do, they capping. They lying like shit.
I believe that too, bro. I believe that.
That's definitely fact. Bitch is like, yo, you ain't, I'm not fucking till you eat my pussy, nigga gonna be out there munching. For sure. Guaranteed. Women hold all the power.
Hey, as long as you got pussy, you never be broke. I keep telling y'all that. Hey, that is true. Know your power. This weekend for me was cool. I got into a bunch of adventures this weekend. You know how like, you have plans for the weekend, but then you have those times, days, weekends, whatever, where maybe not you anymore because you're a dad and you have places you have to be and a husband. But you know, you have those days where it's just an adventure. Like you start out with one thing and you end up somewhere totally different.
Yeah. Those were the good days.
Yeah, man. So that's kind of how my weekend was, man. Like, out having adventures, man. I ended up in a whole bunch of places like it wasn't in the plan. Like, it's like we just ended up here or whatever. But, I did end up at a, A3C event. And,
oh yeah, that shit was dope. I started to come down there with my homeboy. My homeboy came down there Friday night. I was gonna like fucking and go, but I couldn't. Got shit to do.
Bro, you always never just end up in my neck of the woods. Like, I was looking for you in that A, bro. One time for work. That's not just
I was there. Up in my I stayed there the whole weekend. It was a good time.
Bro, like I need you to just end up here. I just need you to end up here. Cause I feel like, so let me give y'all a little bit of backstory about me and B Hill. Like me and B Hill have known each other for a long time and we've worked together at more than one place and, you know, we've talked for 20 years straight, you know what I'm saying? And we've been to, events where we both were there. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like me and B Hill have really like lit a city up together.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know how much lighting of the city can happen because I am not a married person and I am not a parent. And I know that my lifestyle is different. Although, shout out to Tiff, I would never push him to anything that goes against that. I just don't know what the parameters are for lighting the city up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be out. Like, I'd be out. You know what I'm saying? I do what I want. Like, not disrespectfully, obviously, but
yeah, right.
I do what I want. I ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming to the crib. I'm coming home. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
We be out and
but
about.
Yeah, I feel like we need to light the city up one time. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna come down there. I'm gonna come down there. Man, my life's so fucking hectic. I be having shit going on and shit crazy. But yeah, I'll be down there sooner than later.
Yeah, for sure. It's just crazy that we've known each other so
I know
long.
that shit
And
is
we
wild.
so fucking cool. And yeah, I mean, like we know each other. Like we done fucking argue. We done fucking talk about shit. We done had a good time. We done went through phases and stages together, but we have never had like a night or a weekend.
I know, that's wicked. That's crazy how I think about that shit. Yeah. That's damn so wild. That's crazy.
Fact. But you know, you my man, 50 grand. I would love for you to come here and, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I might just come
a good ass time.
I might come. Yeah, I'll come soon. I'm gonna come in a couple of weeks. I don't know when. It's crazy because Tiff's gonna be down there. She going to the, DJ Envy shit. She bringing the kids, but I'm gonna be in Charlotte though, cause I'm going to a game, which I had already man, my homegirl, shout out to Santa, it's her birthday that weekend. So I had already planned to be in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know how the wedding gonna take me, but I'll be down there though, for sure.
Yeah, I told her to, she was talking about, you know, like accommodations and shit while she here, and I gave her like some recommendations or whatever, but I didn't know she was thinking about going to that. So that'd be
she definitely going. Yeah,
I'm probably going.
Yeah, I told her you was gonna go.
Yeah, so definitely.
We just talking like we ain't got a fucking podcast. Look, what else we got going on? We just talking like we just
like we just kicking the shit, right?
Go off on the tangent.
I'm tipsy, so I've been drinking wine since.
Definitely don't give a fuck about that. But yeah, man. Well, how was the AC3 event?
It was good. So we actually like kind of wandered into the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like my nigga, shout out to B, like yo, I call this nigga for lunch, bro. Like we had hung out like Friday and shit. And I'm just like, it's this place that we both fuck with. You know what I'm saying? That's still like, it's a Mediterranean place, but they got like bomb ass salmon. Like their meat is cooked to perfection. So I woke up, you know, after you've been drinking the night before, and I know based on the time that we got in, like I got in and she got in, I was just like, yo, like you trying to have lunch. I'm waking up. It's probably like 11. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, you trying to have lunch? And like, yeah, you know, hit me back like, yeah, just woke up, you know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let's get it. Like, let's get lunch. Innocent. All I wanted was lunch. And then we was going to part ways to go about our business. And my nigga like, so yeah, since we already out, I mean, like, it's the daytime. It's 3:00. Let's, you know, see what the city got to offer. So, anyway, after going back and forth, and I was gonna do the shit anyway, we ended up doing a bunch of like randomness, and we ended up at this A3C, event where she was like, yo, I was just on Edgewood. I see that they got a stage set up, blah, 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 behind this restaurant. Let's go check it out, see what it is, cause she lived down the street. So I'm like, all right, bet. We go, and we walk out and we see like this whole event. We see signs. We see Rick. Yeah, I mean, we see like shit where it looked like it's some exclusive shit. So we like, yo, can we come in? They like, yeah, come on, like come in, you know, whatever. So we go in, but it was cool as shit. It had a bunch of, performers, listen, people, listen. I just want to give a PSA. Just because you like to rap doesn't mean you should. Okay.
That shit sucks. I hate like,
we gotta be real. You know what I'm saying? Like about our talents and our abilities and dreams versus realities. And I don't like to shut down anyone's dream, but at a certain point in time, you gotta like shut that shit down. So anyway, without crushing a few SoundCloud rappers' dreams, it was like people performing and shit like that. So they had these two girls come out, and they were doing kind of like what resembled maybe a game show or a podcast. And they were talking to Afrocentric sisters, beautiful women. And they said, yeah, so we gonna say a word and we gonna pick somebody. And when we say that word, you gotta instantly spit a bar that has that word in it, like from a song already. You know how like somebody say something, you just quote Hov or something like that, right? So I'm sitting in, have you ever been like any place, like a comedy show, could have been at work, at a seminar, some shit like that, where you feel like you in a prime space to be picked.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? So when the bitch say that,
right in your forehead.
Exactly. When the bitch say that, I'm looking at where I'm at and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I feel like I'm in a prime location. I got on a bright ass hoodie. Like, I'm a target. Yo, I hit my folk like, yo, I'm about to SpongeBob this, John. I'ma head out.
That's when you make yourself known. Like,
right,
there we go.
exactly. So I sat there. Thankfully, I did not get picked. She probably saw the dread on my face. Right. But anyway, to sum all that up, the event was good. I mean, it was something to do. You got to see like niggas perform. You know what I'm saying? Some songs were good. Some were poop. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, my thing. And I say this all the time on this podcast. I just love seeing black people have a good time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just being in that vibe, no matter, you know, whether it's good rap, bad rap or whatever, like it's just good to be in that type of atmosphere. So,
yeah.
Shout out to, A3C. Every year I always end up at something, A3C, but I actually kind of looked up some stuff, this weekend or whatever after I went to the event. I was just like, they had like, you know, like speakers and shit. Like they had like T.I., they had Just Blaze.
Yeah,
they had Gary
shit I would like to hear.
Yeah, so I might actually try to like check it out in an official capacity next year. So shout out to A3C, man.
Black on.
Black on for sure. You said you were high earlier. Mm-hmm. What you think about these weed breathalyzers that's coming out in 2020? I don't appreciate it at all. I feel it's disrespectful. So for you guys who don't know, the police will have weed breathalyzers come in 2020. I need to figure out who makes those so I can buy some stock.
That's a fact.
But weed breathalyzers in 2020. So the weed breathalyzers are supposed to let the police know if you have been indulging in the past 3 hours. Me personally, I think that is bullshit.
That shit lame.
That shit super lame.
Like,
you just trying to legalize.
Have you ever seen anybody that drives high? They just drive slow. Like, they just be in the 45 lane. Like, they just driving slow. Them niggas is not doing nothing. You ain't got to worry about them. Like, they still have all their fucking faculties. You know what I mean? Like, with weed and shit. You just let her driving.
They're actually super cautious.
Yeah, like, you just like 10 and 2. You mad paranoid and shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't want police to fucking catch you. Yeah, man, you got to worry about that.
I feel triggered. Are you talking about me specifically? Because you just described me like
Did you? Is that you? Man,
that's
man,
me,
I love, like, sometimes when I'm so high, I be like, fuck, I don't feel like driving. So, like, to the point, like, you just don't feel like driving. Like, you high as hell. Like, I remember I was driving the other day. I was on 540. It took me about 30 minutes to get to the crib. And I was maybe 4 exits away. And then normally, I was going 60. I was high as a bitch and didn't even realize, like, damn, it's taking me forever to get home. And I was like, oh, shit. I looked down at the damn thing. It was going 60. I was like, shit. The speed limit definitely said 70. So, like.
Look, when you look down at that shit and you realize you're going slow, like, damn, I don't think 50 an option right now.
For sure.
Because when you go to speed limit, it seems like you going mad fast.
Yeah, that shit, man. I hate that shit. Like, I drive slow as hell. I'm in one, especially on edibles. Oh, if I'm on edibles, nigga, I'm driving slow. Like, I was going to Durham one time.
You in a golf cart out this bitch.
That motherfucker was going I was going like 45 on fucking 540. And my old lady didn't even realize it because we was together and shit. I'm like, yo. I'm like, damn, all these cars passing the fucking, these cars. I was like, these niggas flying out here today. These niggas flying. Like, nigga, they ain't flying. They going the speed limit. Your ass is going fucking like you on the goddamn county road or some shit. The fuck? Bullshit.
Hey, no, that's real as fuck. Like, that's real as fuck. So I feel like there are two types of weed people. I feel like you're a slacker and weed makes you focus. Like, I know people who can get a lot of shit done when they are high that I would perceive them as slackers on a regular day. And then there are people in categories that I put myself in. Like, I'm highly motivated. I go. Like, I just like to go, right? But when I'm high, like, I am lethargic as fuck. Like, shit is funny to me. I just want to eat, laugh.
Yeah, me too. Weed is the best way. I'm telling you, man. Like, if they replaced fucking alcohol, like, bars with weed bars, I guarantee you, like, it wouldn't be, like, the dependency and shit would be way better just because, like, it's such a relaxing thing. Like, weed is I don't give a fuck drug. Like, like, whatever the fuck you dealing with, if you hit some weed, you can be like, man, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, yo, like, that shit is super relaxing. Like, I think I'm gonna always smoke weed. Like, unless I just can't, you know what I'm saying, physically. But if I
told you weed gonna change, man, once it gets legalized, it's gonna be just like that vaping shit now, where motherfuckers making well, I guess it's already synthetic weed, but they gonna start GMO in the weed, man. I feel like once it's legal everywhere, that's true. That's true.
But I mean, a lot of it's government regulated, but I mean, that don't mean shit. A lot of shit government regulated and it's fucked up, but I mean, like the dispensaries and shit that you got, that shit regulated by the government.
Yeah.
On a state level anyway, not federally.
Yeah, I am a slow driver when I'm high as a bitch. I actually have to come down a little bit before I can actually drive. Like, because I will be going too slow.
Oh nah. I mean, once I realize it, like, but when I'm just chilling and shit, like, I'm cool. Like, I ain't got no rush. But like, I mean, I can get to it though, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes, like, it'll just, but you know, like, that's when you hit that cruise control, you know what I'm saying? Hit that cruise control and keep it pushing.
You talking about some highway shit. Then you can hit that cruise control. You can't hit that fucking cruise control in the city and fucking stop.
Yeah, I mean, but I ain't gonna go slow then because it's 45. I ain't gonna go too. I mean, you know, you can't go slower than goddamn 45 and 35. You know what I mean? That's just retarded.
I feel like when I'm, the thing that I dislike about operating a vehicle when under that type of influence is because I feel like I have to say, okay, Fresh, you have to pay extra attention. You know what I mean? Like, it almost goes into like the paranoid realm. Like, I feel like I have to be extra perfect when I'm driving. Like you said with the 10 and 2, that's why I was like, I'm triggered. Like, are you talking? Oh, yeah. Like, I feel like I gotta have a 10 and 2. I gotta make sure I'm going the perfect speed. Like, I'm paranoid because I don't want the fucking police to come out of nowhere. And now we talking about this weed breathalyzer. Like, y'all just trying to make weed legal and find reasons to lock things up.
Yeah, that shit lame.
It's a circle. It's a vicious fucking cycle.
Yeah.
You mentioned, Wu-Tang. I know that it is kind of the new, season, TV season kind of started for like network TV and all of that probably like a couple weeks ago. Are there any brand new shows that you're watching?
Nah, I don't think so.
Any shows that's not on yet that you're looking forward to watching at all?
The Shy, I heard Lala saying she filming The Shy, but they filming that now, so they ain't gonna be ready till the summer, I guess. But
that's not new.
It's not a new episode. Nah, I really don't know what the fuck is coming out. I saw Deion Cole special. Deion Cole special on fucking Netflix. It's hilarious. Like, it's really, really good. Much better than
I didn't know he had a new one.
Yeah.
It's better than Dave Chappelle?
I think so. I laughed. Like, I didn't really laugh the entire time at Dave Chappelle. It was like, you know.
Yeah.
Like spot. But Deion Cole, it was just more, his was more like funny. Like, I actually laughed for the duration of the hour pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like it was good comedy. Like, I wish I would have went to see him live. Like, I'll go see him live.
I like Deion Cole. For y'all who don't know who Deion Cole is, that's, my man from Blackish.
That nigga funny.
What's Deion Cole's name on Blackish? Damn it, man. And it's right.
It ain't Leon, is it?
No, it ain't Leon. But, I didn't know Deion.
His name's Charlie.
Charlie. That is his name. Charlie. Hey, that Amber Rose episode was funny. That came on some other channel the other day. But Deion Cole is hilarious. I think Deion Cole is underrated.
Absolutely.
The last Deion Cole comedy special that I watched was absolutely fucking hilarious. And one of the standout jokes that still sticks with me to this day, he was just like, hey, yo, white people, it's one thing y'all need to know about black people. They love plastic bags. He said you open a black person cabinet and he said all these plastic bags just come out in like slow motion and that's fall
funny.
out.
He ain't lying.
Hey, that shit was so funny to me. I was weak because I do not know. I don't give a fuck how like I got some bougie ass friends. I got some hood ass relatives. I know people on all spectrums and everybody I know keep plastic bags. Bro.
That's a fact. That's a fact. He had a couple good jokes, man. He was talking about how he met a nigga. Like, he was like, a fat ass will make you meet a nigga.
What?
He was like, you be admiring an ass and then you see another nigga looking at it. Y'all like, oh shit. He was like, yeah. He was like, what's your name, bro? He was like, my name Dion. Nice to meet you. That shit was fucking, like his first 10 minutes is fucking fire. Like that shit, like his first 10 to 15 minutes is straight gas. Like he ain't even, as soon as he got them open his mouth, that shit was funny. Like that shit was funny.
Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, bad. I'm definitely watching.
And they got, not to be confused with Raising Dion. It's like a black superhero type shit. It's actually pretty good. It's like Michael B. Jordan.
I think I might have heard of that.
Yeah, Raising Dion is like, it's a mother who's raising a little boy who's a superhero and shit. Like he has these magical powers that he doesn't know. He's only like 8-year-old, second grade and shit. And he get on your goddamn nerves because he just you forget that he in second grade and he just be doing some bonehead ass shit. Like, nigga, what the fuck? But it's actually good. It's worth watching. You know what I mean?
It's like, comedy, drama.
It's like sci-fi type shit. Like sci-fi.
30
shit.
minutes, hour.
I think they're like 30 to 45 minute episodes, I believe.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Bet. I'll see, what's up with that. I'm definitely.
You gotta watch Wu-Tang though, bro. Gotta watch Wu-Tang.
I know. I gotta watch Wu-Tang and I gotta watch Snowfall.
I done gave you all the goddamn shit. You ain't even, see, that's what I'm saying. You don't be doing shit that I be like.
I don't have time, my nigga.
You got time. You just don't want to do it.
Have time. Tell me when my time shows. Tell me when my time.
You can do it on Monday. You can do it on Wednesday.
I'm not good on Monday.
You say
like,
what?
You got to think about my life plus the shows I already got. I'm not fighting you. I want to watch these shows.
You be watching like 60 Pounds of Love and shit. Like you
lying like fuck. Shut the fuck.
You be watching mad like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I definitely don't.
I love New York.
You be watching
17.
mad YouTube shit, and then when I be like, yo, I need you to watch this, you be like, oh, I don't know, I watched half of it, then I zoned out, I don't even know.
Cause that shit be boring. Like that fucking Chelsea Handler shit was boring. I watch shit though, but when you tell me to watch it, I watch it. You don't even watch it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Bruh, like.
Or you don't listen to shit.
I can't listen to all, like, okay, let me tell y'all about B. B says shit at random times. Like, it be like 10 in the morning. He be like, yo, this fucking podcast fire. That shit just dropped this morning. When did you have time to listen to that shit, bro? Like, when did you have time to watch that shit? Like, I don't listen to no podcast real time. I don't be on fucking YouTube like that. You be sending me shit. I be in the middle of my life. Like, I can't just stop and listen to fucking,
I told you about albums.
Dame
about
Dollars
shows,
in the middle of my
shit.
dinner date. Like, I can't, like, I just can't do that. Like, I get it. Like, you gotta, you know, sit and watch your kids like Kevin Hart, where you just listening to make sure, you know, they ain't fucking up no shit. Like, hey, what you doing? Like, hey, you know what I mean? So you be having a little bit of wiggle room to do shit like that. But like, bro, you forgot, I produce a fucking podcast. That takes my time. I damn have a life that is unpredictable, and my fucking job be getting on my last fucking nerves, and I be working late. That shit, I just don't be having time. But I feel like you need to chill in this perspective, because it's not like I'm not trying to listen.
All I'm saying is you always have this whole narrative that I don't be listening to shit and shit that you recommend. I'm just letting you know that the shoe is on the other foot, and you don't be doing it.
If you notice, 9 times out of 10, probably in the last 6 to 8 months, I only send you shit where I'm just like, yo, listen or watch this, because we gonna talk about it on the podcast. Yeah. I don't even really send you really suggestions on my personal opinions no more.
But
no, because you'll come back and be like,
oh,
I ain't listened to that shit. But you'll tell me about 5 other irrelevant things that you listened or watched, and they took like an hour of your time. I'm like, where do you be finding these hours from?
Easy. Make time. Driving, goddamn, chilling. Like,
I just don't be having the time, my man. Like you gotta,
I
gotta
feel
respect.
I'm just
that.
saying. I just wanted to put that out there that I recommend mad shit to you that you don't watch.
Listen, to the listeners out there, I definitely want to watch Wu-Tang. I definitely want to watch Snowfall. Those are things that I really want to watch.
Those are cultural staples in the community.
It's different when you like, oh, watch these 2-3 episodes versus you got to catch up on these 3 seasons.
Well, Wu-Tang is brand new, so you ain't got no excuse to do that. It's only 7 episodes, and it comes on Wednesday.
Only 7? That's a whole.
If you would have watched it when I told you to watch it, you'd have been good.
I don't be having the time.
Dog, it's an hour. It comes on Wednesdays on Hulu.
You found your soulmate. A nigga out here still searching. A nigga gotta go on auditions.
Tell them bitches to come through.
A nigga gotta do shit. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
you wanna watch Wu-Tang tonight? Like, let's watch Wu-Tang. Fix me some dinner.
No, that's too intimate. We sharing shows now.
Bitch, I just want to watch the show and you in my way, so we can figure it out. You gotta get creative.
No, listen, when it comes to Wu-Tang or that, the Wu-Tang is never superseded that, FYI.
Hey, bitch, come to the crib.
Like
I'm gonna come to your crib. Let's watch Wu-Tang.
No.
It's just like a date.
Listen, you've been married before Instagram, so you're a little outdated on some certain.
Man, I know how to get some hoes and goddamn, let's go to let's watch some TV. But you don't want
everybody in your space.
Go to their house. And then you can leave. Man. Boom. Do what you gotta do. Watch the shit. Do whatever else you're gonna do. Dip. Go back to the crib.
Word. On B Hill. I'ma just
saying.
Concede on this. I'ma just say, okay.
Just saying.
I'ma just concede on this cause it ain't no winning. I did watch an episode of this show called Prodigal Son. Cause I'm into crime and shit like that. And I got a couple more episodes, but it looked like that's pretty good. I'm actually going to give some Tyler Perry shows a try. I've set my DVR again. My DVR is the only reason I fuck with y'all Comcast Xfinity, cause y'all some fucking bastards. But, I set my DVR to record The Oval and Sisters. Oh, yeah. So we'll see that. Again, still have, Wu-Tang and Snowfall. And then, are you going to watch Rhythm and Flow?
I don't know. Maybe. I saw it, but then I was going to watch it. Then I saw the Deion Cole shit. So I was like, I'm going to watch the Deion Cole shit. So I'll probably give it a whirl. I don't know.
All right. Let me know if you watch it. If you watch it, I'll watch it. Cause it may create some content, but I'm just like, Yeah,
I'm not really pressed for some reason.
Yeah.
I want to support them though, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
They already got paid.
Facts. Real quick, let's give some Brown and Proud real quick. First shout out goes to, we should just call this the Brown and Proud / Tyler Perry section. So I want to give a shout out to Tyler Perry, who we talked about last show, who's using his, compound or his studios, for displaced women and LGBT youth. He will be using his studio grounds for that, to house them. I thought that was super dope. There are a lot of women who need to leave or have no place to stay, women and children. And, sadly enough, there are a lot of LGBTQIA, ABC, youth that are, disowned and shit by their parents because of their lifestyle. And I think that is like totally wild. Like you can't come in regards to no unconditional love in your own fucking child and you would disown them. But shout out to Tyler Perry for, including that on this fucking, what is it? 200 and how many acres that nigga had? 300 acres. Of land. So shout out to Tyler Perry for that. The second shout out goes to Tyra Winters. Tyra Winters sprang into action, to save a 2-year-old boy from choking when she heard someone in the crowd yell help while she was participating in the Rockville High School parade. She is an African American, teenager who is a senior, and shout out to her mom for teaching her the Heimlich maneuver, in case of emergency. I think that is, super dope. You know the Heimlich maneuver, B?
Yeah.
You know, like officially?
Yeah, hell yeah. I can get you. I'll save you.
Were you trained?
Yes, at one point in my life, and I can't remember where, but I don't know. And I had to do it like when my kids were twins. I mean, when my kids were twins.
When my kids were twins, they're not twins.
When they were born, they were preemies and shit. So we had to like learn like mad little shit. So we had to do like little CPR. That's probably where I learned it. But yeah, I know how to do all that shit. I know how to do that shit like on myself. You can hit the edge of a table and all that shit.
Word?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
you can hit the edge of the table and like hit right above, like right where you're,
like the corner of a table?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds painful, but I guess it's better than dying.
Yeah, I'd take it. I'd take the latter of the two. But yeah, you can do that. Yeah. So yeah, I know how to do all that shit. Fuck it up.
Hey, you know what's been freaking me out?
Don't die around me though. Don't get choked because I don't feel like fucking with it. I don't want to forget some shit. On you. You're like, oh shit, I forgot this step. You know what I mean? You'll be fucked up.
They got a piece of fucking hot dog in their throat and they down your watch.
Pause.
You better not let me down your watch, nigga.
Well, if you eating a hot dog, I don't know. I gotta see that. It's gonna be wild. I got you.
Fucking weirdo.
Weenies.
I do not know the Heimlich maneuver, but I feel like I know it in my head, which is probably all wrong. I've never been trained on the Heimlich maneuver. I just feel like I know where to put the fucking thumb and the fist together right under the fucking breastbone and you pull that shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But shout out to her, not only for knowing the Heimlich maneuver, but just for her instincts kicking in. She saved this little white boy life. So, shout out to her. And, then shout out to former, NFL player D'Angelo Williams, for doing his part to, fight breast cancer and covering the cost of over 500 women's mammogram screenings. They are expensive. Yeah, that's super dope. And he dedicated it to, his mother, Sandra Hill, who died from breast cancer in 2014 at the young age of 53.
Yeah, she was, he was actually the reason that like the NFL and like football players were wearing pink and shit, like October is breast cancer awareness month. So the league adopted that. Now they've since kind of like all cancers matter type deal. But yeah, you know, he's a former Panther. So that's my nigga. I fuck with D'Angelo. Cause he started doing it as a Panther. So shout out to bro.
He also has lost 4 aunts to breast cancer.
Breast cancer is that bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, so, ladies, if you are 35 and it runs in your family, you need to start getting screened. If it does not run in your family, the screenings start at 40. So you have to go, so you can get your boobs smashed in a machine. I'm not looking forward to that. But please, I've heard story, but you know, you gotta go do it.
Please so, do that shit.
It is running rampant and, you know, rest in peace to those who have died from that.
Shout out to those who survived.
Shout out to those who survived and shout out to those who are currently dealing with it. Shout out to a member of my family who is currently dealing with it. I don't want to give her information because I don't know how she feels about that, but my prayers are going to you. And you know, it's just a scary thing, you know what I'm saying? And you have women who get mastectomies just because they have that trait. They don't even have breast cancer, but they're trying to avoid it altogether. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they lose their breasts and you hear, you know, it's very interesting, hearing what makes a person who they are. And a lot of women who have mastectomies and lose their breasts, they go through, you know, this mental thing of not feeling like a woman anymore.
For sure. I can only imagine.
Just, yeah, know that you are women through and through and breasts don't make you. You know what I'm saying? And we are here to support.
Fact. Save the tatas.
Save the tatas and fuck cancer for sure.
For sure.
real quick, I didn't want to get too deep into this because I always
Simone Biles, man. Simone Biles, shout out to her. She won, like, set the record for mad shit. I don't know exactly what. Misquote,
set the records for mad shit.
She did,
but she's the most decorated gymnast ever.
Shout out to her.
I do know that.
Beautiful black. And she like 21, 22, some shit like that. Super young. So.
What do you do after that? After you've done everything, what the fuck do you do?
Keep going.
Bruh.
Made that bar so super high that the niggas can't never get rid of it.
Facts. Shout out to Simone.
She was killing shit to the point they was like, they told her she was too good. They took points because she was too good at some shit. That's how you know. Go.
That's how they do us.
That's a fact.
How they do it.
That's a big fact.
I want to give rest in peace to Tatiana.
Yeah, for sure.
Jefferson, age 28 of Fort Worth, Texas, who was playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew when she was shot dead by Officer Aaron Dean in her own fucking home.
Mm-hmm.
This comes off the heels of the Amber Geiger trial, where she went in and shot a nigga who was chilling, eating his fucking Breyers ice cream, minding his own fucking business. And this other black woman is chilling, fucking with her fucking nephew. Chilling. And shot dead in her house, minding her own fucking business. Like, at this point in time, it's just straight up genocide, I feel like.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Black woman. Not even 30 yet. Ain't even hit the prime of her life yet. And now she's gone. You know what I'm saying? It's a hunt out here. And for, you others out there that act like we just making this shit up. Racism don't exist. Being afraid of black people don't exist. Discrimination does not exist. You tell me what you see in your papers every single fucking day. Tell me what you see on the news and on your social media every day.
And if you wanted another digestible form, check out the 1619 podcast. That'll pretty much button everything up for you from rooter to the fucking tutor. And just shows you the level of fucking racism that this country is built on the backs of my people and our people. And it's so diversified in the ways in which you've fucking oppressed us continuously, and you continue to do it. So, yeah, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's cold-blooded out here.
It's super fucked up. Rest in peace. Prayers to her family.
It's hard being black, man. We got to deal with a whole bunch of shit, man. Whole bunch of fucking shit. Like, we got to deal with amongst each other. Like,
yes.
Like, motherfuckers is filming this girl in fucking Greensboro. These two girls, they done fucking, like, they was squabbing, and cause everybody fucking had their phones, the bitch got mad. She got her ass beat and started pissing on herself. Then her pride got in the way, so she get in her car and just goddamn hit reverse and floor that bitch and roll and like kill like 3 people. One of them, her friend that who was trying to help her fight had got knocked out and was sitting on the goddamn ground. So she rolled over her, and then when she did the reverse, I don't know if she got scared or what, but then she put that bitch in drive and rode and hit straight. So everybody else, if she missed the first time, she hit them. So, yeah, we got to deal with that shit. Then it's just like, it's the fucking peril of being a black person in America is the fucking hardest shit in the world. Like, it's
Did anybody die?
Yeah. Yeah, the motherfuckers was on murder. Die? Yeah, the fucking best friend died. Like, and she killed her best friend. Like, because motherfuckers was filming her and she's scared. She mad because she finna be online and go viral. So she just ran over every goddamn body.
That's the thing. Like, it's been these constant conversations about, the internet, and niggas like, okay, turn the shit off. Like, you go viral, so what? Like, and we talked about that when we was talking about the Cleveland Brown nigga and motherfucking Marlon Wayans, but the internet is impacting motherfuckers. Her pride made her kill people because she didn't want the ramifications of the internet seeing her get her ass beat. And everybody could have lived to fight another day.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problems against fighting. Like, you want to fight. You know what I mean? You live to fight another day. You know what I mean? Like, that killing shit, like, I just feel like nowadays people don't think that death is a permanent thing. Or people get so emotional that they don't understand the consequences.
When they was in the fucking shit, yeah. they seen they fucking first appearance. Sick. Knew it was over. Like, sick. Whole life gone. Whole life fucking gone. For one irrational decision.
And she got to live with that for the rest of her life.
For sure. She killed other people too.
She killed other people too.
Yeah.
And that was going to live with her anyway.
Right.
Because based on what you saying, she probably like wasn't no serial killer bitch.
No,
she don't give a fuck about killing people, right? So, but you kill your friends and shit.
Right.
Man.
It's hard being black, man. We got everything in the world against us, boy.
It is, man. Let's get into some lighter shit.
Yeah, word.
You ready to get into some litter shit, my guy?
Yeah, let's do it.
So litter shit is where we talk about all the fuck shit on your timelines, the shit that don't really mean shit, that where we can just laugh at shit majority of the time. What are you indulging in today? Let the people know.
Just endo. Smell more
just
like
a little
outdoor.
breathalyzer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't. It's been less than 3 hours. I definitely wouldn't pass. Definitely shouldn't be under the influence doing the podcast at the time. Definitely be charged.
You're definitely on 10 and 2 right now driving.
For sure.
Are you on 10 and 2 driving right now?
Yeah, I'm just relaxed. Hitting about 45.
You look wavy.
Hitting about 45 in the 70. You know what I mean?
Facts. I am actually on a little vino today. And
what is that, wine?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm not a wine man at all, so I wouldn't know.
Gotcha. I'm on the little vino and I've probably been drinking it for like the past 2 hours. And for you women who drink wine and some of you guys who drink wine that listen to this podcast, wine has that slow roll effect on you. Like once you get there, it's just like a smoothness to it where you're like, oh yeah, I can drink even more wine. It don't get you like alcohol. So, that's where I'm at with it. So, put your vapes, blunts and wine glasses in the air and let's toast to correcting mistakes. So at a recent event, in Atlanta where T.I. was promoting, his Rhythm and Flow on Netflix, series, which is a competition show. I know we talked about it earlier. I don't know if we gave a description on what it was, but Rhythm and Flow is a competition series with T.I., Chance the Rapper, and Cardi B judging, kind of like American Idol, but for hip hop. And T.I. spoke with regret about his decision to sign Iggy Azalea to his label Grand Hustle in 2012. He says that I'm actively looking for another female who can undo the blunder of Iggy Azalea. This is the tarnish of my legacy as a music executive is concerned. Soon after that, went public, Iggy Azalea tweeted, and she also deleted, imagine thinking I was the biggest blunder. Tip, sweetie, we have a whole list for you. So with this Iggy Azalea T.I. thing, what do you think Tip meant by blunder? Because through my research, outside of Tip, Iggy was the only platinum artist to ever grace Grand Hustle.
No, hell no. B.O.B. fucking Travis Scott.
But their albums were not released on Grand Hustle.
Oh, they're Grand Hustle.
Albums,
I mean, but they were signed to Grand Hustle.
They're
though.
like management, not as artists though.
The production deal.
I looked at this. I looked at this before. Their albums were not released on Grand Hustle though. Out of the people who were actually like official Grand Hustle artists, like motherfucking, Young Dro and all them niggas, I didn't see nobody who reached platinum status. And if we're talking about platinum artists that were affiliated with Grand Hustle, you're right. Then it'd be Travis Scott. It would be Travis Scott. It would be Meek Mill and B.O.B. outside of T.I. But Iggy was official Grand Hustle, management, record label, everything. But what do you think he meant by blunder? Like,
I have no idea because I don't agree with it. I mean, that bitch, she had number one music at one point. So
yeah,
maybe he just meant for like cultural purposes.
Longest running rap song, period.
Maybe for cultural. Nah, I thought Old Town Road was that. They just set mad records, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it was like for hip hop. I think it was like, you know what? I'll take it back. I think Iggy is the longest running female hip hop song ever.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I think fucking Old Town Road had some other caveats to it too. Like it was longest. I feel like that song was like longest running song, like period.
Yeah.
Because it beat out One Sweet Day and some other non-hip hop song. Yeah. So I think that's like of songs, like since the history of music. Iggy Azalea got something to do with either female hip hop or hip hop. Longest like hip hop song. I think it's very interesting that, Tip has like this recollection of Iggy, because even though I know that, Iggy has been criticized for being a culture vulture and other things, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I feel like, you know, she was good business.
Yeah, I don't know where he got all that shit from. I mean, maybe he just meant from cultural standpoint, but I mean, shit, you signed a white girl rapper from Australia, like, so from that alone, like, that should have been, you know what I mean? But apparently you saw something in there that obviously you benefited from, so I don't know what the fuck he meant. I would love for him to expound expeditiously on that.
I feel like, you know, like before Fancy and all that came out, and I was seeing like Iggy Azalea like on her grind or whatever, and I liked Iggy Azalea music, and I was just like, the only thing like I kind of rubs me the wrong way is that she's from Australia and she's doing her best to do like a black scent. So that's the only part that really like used to rub me the wrong way about Iggy Azalea in her music. I think that Iggy Azalea was no longer like the popping thing. After Fancy and, you know, people wanted to come at her, I don't feel like, you know, Tip could handle the heat from it. And I think that, you know, Iggy Azalea started to act out and say some things on Twitter and shit like that, which, you know, causes the cancel train to come in, and maybe Tip couldn't deal with that. But I don't know, maybe it's some behind the scenes stories that we don't know about. Yeah,
that would make more sense than anything. Cause I mean, you know, but again, when you're rich, it's not necessarily, you don't really get moved by the dollar necessarily. You know what I mean? So like Tip was already established. Like he was up. So, you know what I mean? Like,
was he really up though as a record executive?
I mean, not necessarily, but I mean, I don't know. But I mean, shit, even still though, like he was still rich though. So like, you know, even if you make a lot of money off that shit, that's my point. Like he was already rich. So like, just cause he might have made some money off of it, but if you don't agree with it, like personally or morally, you know what I mean? It's all for naught, I guess.
Well, I mean, fucking Young Dro hit a bitch in the face with banana pudding.
I mean, that's his friend.
So proud of that though.
I mean, that's his friend though.
But we still talking about, are we talking about making money? Are we talking about being a record executive? Like, in what aspect are we talking about this? Because you could be out here, you my nigga, but if you out here fucking cooning and acting a fucking fool, I'm not gonna be happy to promote you like that. You know what I mean? Like, it still goes back to like reputation and shit like that. I don't know.
That's my whole, that was exactly what I was saying. That was my whole argument. Like, maybe he just didn't fuck with her on a, you know, personal level, like to the point where, you know, sully the business. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to get more insight, on that tip to understand that, because at the end of the day, I feel like all this shit is just business. I feel like all y'all niggas can't really believe in some of these niggas that y'all put out here. Some of y'all niggas y'all see as fucking cash cows. Like y'all motherfuckers that's dealing with that little bitch, Bad Baby or Bad Bobby or whatever the fuck her name is. Like y'all just know that people will eat that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't consider her talented and shit like that, but y'all just see like she has a social media following, and where there's a social media following, dollars follow behind that. So very, very, very interesting, because the way T.I. speaks about this is like it was his worst decision ever. And I'm like, fuck, give me Iggy Azalea back in 2012. I signed the fuck out that bitch. Like, and be like, all right, cool, on to the next, even if we, you know, go our separate ways or whatever, like on to the next. But Iggy Azalea, T.I. thinking of Iggy Azalea as one of his biggest blunders is lit or shit.
I guess it's lit. I don't know.
I think that is lit only because it sparked conversation, and I want to get to the bottom of his thoughts as to why this was a fuck up, because I can name a lot more executives with a lot bigger fuck ups, like whoever signed Trinidad James, etc.
Trinidad James is eating though.
That's not what he's saying.
I mean, yeah, he doing all right. He got fashion wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got a couple shows and shit. I mean, but I don't know musically. I don't know about what he got going on.
Yeah, Trinidad James is upset, that individuals, he has not had but that one song or two songs. He had one song or two songs. But yeah, I've heard him out here complaining he's in the bucket with the designers and all of those individuals who are upset with their labels and not getting support. I don't find Trinidad James that talented. I thought Gold All of My Chains was, catchy, but that's about it. Did you fuck with Trinidad James? Did you think he was gonna be something?
Nah. I like him though. I like him I fuck with him because he like got a sneaker show and shit. So, you know, I'm on a different wave. I fuck with that. So, nah, talent wise, I'm cool on his raps and shit, but I fuck with him on some sneaker shit.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen Trinidad James fly, so I don't even know about his sneaker shit. Not my cup of tea in general, but, you know, if he got some shit to say about sneakers that I guess he don't wear, cause I be seeing him with some motherfucking Dolomite boots on and shit.
He be wearing mad shit. Like, he got a shit on Soul Collector on YouTube. Shit dope.
Well, shout out to Trinidad James for that. Let's go into, Rihanna. Rihanna is speaking her motherfucking mind out here. That's one thing that makes Rihanna amazing. I love Rihanna for that. She spoke with Vogue magazine to discuss like business, music, ventures, and also politics. And she didn't hold back. When she was discussing gun violence in America, Rihanna expressed her theory that President Trump is so dismissive of mass shootings because they are often carried out by white men. Rihanna says the fact that it's classified as something different because of the color of their skin is a slap in the face, and it's completely racist. She says put an Arab man or Arab man with the same weapon in the same Walmart, and there's no way Trump would sit there and address it publicly as a mental health problem. The most mentally ill human being in America right now sounds like the president. She also set the record straight about rumors of her rejecting the NFL to perform last year in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick. And she said, absolutely, I wouldn't dare do that. For what? Who gains what? Not for my people. I couldn't be a sellout. I couldn't be an enabler. The things that go on within that organization, I do not agree with at all. And I would not be of service to them in any way at all. I thought that was, Rihanna saying her shit, talking her shit. And I love when any musician talk their shit. But what made me think in this, article in regards to Rihanna is musicians, in the past have talked about presidents, the police, and things dealing with the feds. In the past, like, you know, like Ice Cube, like Ice-T, motherfucking Uncle Luke. Like, I've heard like their stories and shit when they've said shit based on their free speech and things like that. And they said that they were fucked with by the president, by the feds, and audited and just fucking harassed. Why do you think celebrities feel so free speaking out these days with the world's pettiest president, in office?
I mean, I guess, you know, you just come to a point, you know what I mean, where, when you're rich like that, you really don't, you can afford to say whatever the fuck you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta run the chance of getting audited and, you know, shit like that, but at the end of the day, you still got that scratch, you know what I mean? Like, you still super up, and Rihanna's super up, so she can pretty much say what the fuck she want to say. She got several streams of income, and I guess the highest paid fucking one of the artists or some shit like that. So
yeah, she's the highest paid female right now. Like, she's worth over 600.
So yeah,
she's worth over
you can
600.
pretty much say what the fuck you want to say.
Yeah. It's kind of like a toe to toe type thing, I guess. She probably got more money than Trump for real, but
Nah.
that nigga got power.
He got billions. Like, he's a billionaire. She ain't a billionaire yet.
Okay. So,
not liquid.
you know, you know, that's what it is. I just feel like, for me, I feel like my thoughts on that is, it's kind of like you can only talk like that, like at her level. You know what I'm saying? When you can't really just be easily moved or whatever the case may be. But, you know, I'm pretty sure, like, again, we have the world's pettiest president ever. And I don't feel like he's doing any type of work in Washington. He just sit and watch the blogs and watch Twitter, and he's basically like reporting the news as well to talk back to people and things like that. But I fuck with Riri. With Riri being on Rock Nation, and Rock Nation having their affiliation with the NFL, some people are saying that Rihanna drew a line in the sand with that. Do you think that's disloyal to your employer and or mentor to say something like that, where it's something that is clearly affiliated with the label that you're on?
I think she keeps the label on. She keep the lights on in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you got a stance, you got a stance, and all relationships run that course. You know what I mean? Over the course of time. So she very well could just be moving on. You know what I'm saying? Or, like I said, she keeping the lights on. Rihanna is the reason Rock Nation is, I mean, you know, Hov obviously, but like as far as star power and, you know,
like the biggest
who's
star
on the book, she's by far the one keeping the lights
the
on.
Biggest star.
Bitch. Yeah. So she can say whatever the fuck she want. Niggas still gonna be like, oh, chill. I'm sorry. It's all love.
Dude, like, could you, at what point do you feel like differences as far as political stance, moral stances, things like that, at what point can you say, okay, you know, me and you, we have a difference of opinion and we can rock, versus that line where it's just like, me and you have so much of a difference of opinion, I don't feel like we can rock no more. Is there a line for you?
I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, if you do something, you know, just egregious to the point where, like, you know, you just all out, you know, completely against everything that I believe in. Yeah. I mean, certainly.
Like,
you know
what?
I mean?
You got anything
like
in
morals?
particular?
I don't know. I mean, like, you know, if you side out shit, I mean, Trump supporters and shit, like, I can't fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, or,
that's enough for you to stop being friends with somebody if they're a Trump supporter?
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but like, it depends on what you support. I mean,
why? Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're about like tax breaks and shit, and you're like, you know, in the 1% or, you know, rich, and you like, yo, the motherfucker be showing love as far as rich, you know, like wealth goes and shit, right? I can understand it. But if you like, if you have, like, if you believe in the fact that, you know, his racism and his rhetoric and shit like that, like, I can't fuck with you because I can't really, like, the moral part about it. Now, if it's business for you, then, okay, you know, I can let that slide. It is what it is. But, like, the moral fiber of you, we can't gel. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't trust you because I'm a black man and you're a person that, you know, I mean, even if you are black, you know what I mean? Like, you one.
Yeah, cause you could be a black Trump supporter.
Yeah, that's a fact. And believe that he's not racist and all that shit. And I can't, like, one, you just Uncle Tom and you a coon, so you'll sell me out, one. Or if you're a white dude or any other type of relation, you know, or any type of type of race rather, you don't understand the plight of colored people, black people specifically. So I can't rock with you then, you know what I mean? So, like, we have nothing. Like, I can't get with you from a common person level because I'm about humans, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a part of the human race, and I don't, like, I would love to not have the overall disdain for white people that I have, but I can't help it, you know what I mean? But I'm still, despite that, still very, you know, open and willing to get to know anybody because, you know, everybody has 100 with me until you start deducting points, you know what I'm saying? And you can go from 100 to a 0 at a, you know, one or two words, you know what I'm saying? So it's just,
that's dope. I think that is a dope mentality to have, that just that one statement that you said where you like everybody has 100 and then you kind of deduct. Cause I think I'm the opposite. I think everybody has 50 and then you earn points with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust nobody.
Yeah, I don't trust
fuck
nobody
with
either. That's why I give
nobody.
everybody 100, and then like you can lose that in a rapid rate. You know what I mean? Like I try to meet everybody from an even playing field and get everybody. You know what I mean? Like I would want everybody to give me 100, and then let me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make your impact. So I mean, you know, depending on how you look at life and shit like that.
Yeah, glass half full. Glass
Yeah,
half
everybody
empty.
got a
I
zero,
feel you on
and
that.
they got to build up to 100 or something. You know what I mean? I can dig that too, but you know, I just try to be optimistic, but at the same time a realist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that the comment that I think Rihanna is one of those types that don't hold back, and I like that about anybody. I like a straight shooter. Like you always know what it is.
She from the island. She just a fiery motherfucker anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just tell in her natural conversation and like everyday life, she just fiery as hell. You know what I mean? Like,
and it don't help that you that bitch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and when we talk about that bitch, it's like Rihanna, Beyonce. Like, I mean, you know, like, she that bitch and she know that, you know what I'm saying? But I want to see how the relationship, cause she seemed really passionate about that, and how the relationship, with her and Hove, will kind of pan out due to this type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because she used a very, harsh word there, sellout. You know what I'm saying? So that's something different. You know what I'm saying? It's different when I don't agree with something, but when I categorize people who do these things as something, that means something else. I feel like that hit a little bit different. That hit a little bit more personal. That's you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like me and you being who we are and you fucking out here making fucking millions, you know what I'm saying, selling houses and shit. And I say, yo, I feel like motherfuckers who sell houses is fucking scum. That even though that's my personal opinion and we cool, like that gotta hit different. Like, oh, motherfucker, like this what you think of me. You know what I'm saying? Versus this is just your random, not random, but this is your take on life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see how that pans out. Rihanna speaking her motherfucking mind is litter shit.
I fuck with it, you know. I fuck with my baby. That's my boo. My boo thing.
That's your side boo? That's your hall pass? Is Rihanna your hall pass?
She might be the main if she come through. Like, hey, look. I might allocate y'all some shit over here. You know what I mean? Never have to worry about nothing. Me and Riri about to chill for a little bit, and then I'm gonna take her for what she got, and then I'll be back.
Oh, you know what? This is what I love about you, because you are a good transitioner. So, we've talked about
it's a gift.
It's a gift. Jada and Will. And they're what we deem to be like an open relationship, right? So, Will Smith's baby mama of the 26-year-old, which no longer you don't really have to communicate with on a regular basis because this nigga grown as a bitch, but whatever. Will baby mama, Cherie Zampino, Zampino, she posted a picture, which looks like a very recent picture of her and Will. And it says, I love and honor this man. And the icing on the cake is, and she tags Jada Pinkett Smith. She said, I know this is going to have some of you less mature, less evolved, perverted folks all up in a tizzy. Have a blessed day. I know I will. Now, take into consideration that last year, Will Smith posted a picture of him and Cherie, and it said, happy birthday to the best baby mama ever. She replied back, oh, thank you, baby daddy. I love you back. Now, what's very interesting about this is because in all the pictures, they're very hugged up. Yeah, you know what I mean, it don't look like no co-parenting situation. It seemed like a cohabiting situation. Are you this mature? You just talked about Rihanna. Are you this mature to have a throuple going on in your relationship? And if you are, what would be the stipulations of your throuple?
I don't know. I don't think I am. I don't think I am. As far as, I don't know, man. Cause, I mean, it's different when you got kids, right? Like when you got kids, and then there's like multiple kids by multiple people, obviously. So it's always going to be a bond there regardless. And you would want it obviously to be, as fruitful and as pleasant as possible, you know, as you raise a child in love, you know what I'm saying? Versus the bullshit that comes along with, you know, humans and then, you know, adults having, you know, say in each other's lives versus a child that's just, you know, kind of gets the bottom short end of the stick of it. But, I heard her on Van podcast. She had like an interview mad long ago. Not long, about a couple months ago.
His baby mama?
Yeah, she was up there.
Oh, nice.
And, they talked about it cause Jada said something about the throuple first, you know what I'm saying, on her little red table shit. And she was like, well, it's not necessarily a throuple. She was like, we just get along really well. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, I had my moments, you know what I'm saying? Like, where I was hating and shit cause we had divorced or whatever. She was like, she was never the second woman, you know what I mean? But she was, you know, a couple years after that, but then like she was around my kid and shit and I had issues because I'm a woman and, you know, like I'm just jealous. Not necessarily, you know, she's like, I didn't think I was because we were over with. I was married. I had moved on, but you know, you just gotta, when motherfuckers is around your child and shit, now you gotta kind of just, you know, she was like, what the kicker was for her was Trey wanted to buy her, Jada, like a birthday present or a Mother's Day present or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And she felt like, and then she was like, I ain't buying that bitch shit. And then she was like, wait a minute. Like this is the woman that's going to be spending time with my child. Like, and if he feels enough love and appreciation for her, then who am I to hate? And she was like, that was just like an aha moment for her. And then, she said that's when they became, cause she was like, Jada never did anything to me. Like, you know what I mean? She was never a bitch to me. She was never.
Jada was trying to smash.
Probably. That's true. I mean, she was fine. That motherfucker fine as shit.
Both of them are attractive women. Sure. Will got it going the fuck on.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. But I mean, I guess she just realized, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta be, you know, you still gotta be the bigger person regardless, like, you know, what situation you in. She was like, I was well taken care of. Will always took care of me, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like monetarily. And she was like, we ain't never want for shit. But he's a good, you know what I mean? He's a good man. You know, we just didn't work out. You know what I mean? I was early on before Fresh Prince. And then when Fresh Prince took off, he was a whole nother monster, you know what I'm saying? Not like monster, but he's just a different person because he had all this notoriety and fame. He was like one of the biggest stars in the world. So she was like, it was just, you had to deal with that ego. So, I say all that to say, I guess for me personally, I mean, it's a different scenario. Obviously, I don't have enough money to be able to have my baby mamas coexist to the point where they would get along. But I mean, there's a lot of co-parents out there that, you know, that thrive and do well, you know what I'm saying? And just about being mature.
Listen. It's a difference between co-parenting and we hugged up on the ground.
For sure.
Yeah, you know I mean, like, I advocate for co-parenting because I feel like there are a lot more co-parents than parents out here these days. But us being all hugged up on the gram and just being hugged up, period. Fuck the gram. Like being hugged up, period. Like that's a different type of line. Level. Now, am I mature enough for a throuple in their perspective? No, I'm not. Now, am I mature enough for a selfish throuple? Yes, I am. That means the two of you are here for me.
I mean,
I can do that. I can do that. I could sign up for that. Not in like where these people feel like, you know, like the throuple is like a three-way marriage. Like I feel like of course I've never been married, but I feel like a marriage is hard enough for me to try to maintain two of them. But if we are in a situation where you down with me, and you down with me, I'm with it. Like I'm with it. If you down for the pictures being on the gram, I'm with it. But in this way this throuple look like it's going down, I'm definitely not mature enough for that. I will probably never be mature enough for that, and I'm willing to admit that and accept that I am not mature enough for that. This throuple, Jada and Will's throuple, is litter shit.
That's great. Shout out to them. Black love.
Shout out to them. Shout out for them for having the Afro-punk version of Black Love. Afro-punk was this weekend in Atlanta, and people had a really good time at Afro-punk. It's a place where I always say Afro-punk is like a black rave. It's like for people to be who the fuck they want to be and do whatever they want to do and be high, drunk, as fuck and just vibe out. So shout out to all those people who were at Afropunk in Atlanta this weekend. Last but not least, I want to talk about this really, really quick. So Sesame Street is tackling America's opioid epidemic head on, revealing a character by the name of Carly. The little green Muppet with yellow hair was in foster care because her mother suffered from addiction. And just like with anything else that involves children's programming, the internet went wild. What are your thoughts on that, B?
I just don't know I don't really think it has any place. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I haven't watched Sesame Street in years, so I don't know if I don't recall them tackling like issues like that when I was a kid. Not necessarily just like drugs and shit, but like, I thought it was just fun and teaching kids about like the alphabet and shit. Like, when did we have to get to this? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that shouldn't even be a place. Like, certain things just don't have any relevancy in certain areas and certain arenas. And I think this is one of them. Like, why can't we just be teaching kids ABCs and singing songs and teaching them shit like that versus like that shit? You know what I mean? So I don't know. So
let me ask you something. If we're teaching kids, right? If we're teaching kids about ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and the traditional things that you teach kids, when and where is the time to teach kids about differences and the things that their friends may be tackling in their life and or things they may be personally tackling in their life? Where's the venue for that? Where's the outlet for that? Who should teach
I don't think it should be taught in Sesame Street though. I mean, I think that's like the fundamentals of life in terms of learning and shit, like just scholastically. I don't think that has any, I think that should be separate. So I don't know the answer to when you should be, you know, like where and when and where. I mean, I think that's, you know, up to the parents, I guess. But I don't know. It's kind of
hard. But you say it's up to the parents, but what about the parents who are addicted to drugs? What about the parents who are in same-sex relationships? What about those kids dealing with that? Like, I feel like people who have a stereotypical family, mom, dad, children, right? And kind of like your family where dad works, mom does her mom thing. They come home, they eat snacks. You have, in my opinion, a very traditional home. Majority of children don't have a very traditional home. So I feel like that's two-sided. I feel like, one, your kids need to understand what other kids are going through. And then on the flip side of that, I feel like kids who are going through these various situations need to know that they're not an outlier, that other people are dealing with these things too, that they're not weird, that they're not, you know, an outlier and things of those natures. Being a child that, you know, grew up in the 80s, you know what I'm saying, and seeing like the crack epidemic and shit like that. Like my outcry to this particular thing about, Sesame Street was, I feel like we only tackle shit when it's a white problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't personally have any problem with kids learning these things because they're going to learn it whether you know it or not. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you need to make your kids aware of the things that are going on in this world so that, one, they could be prepared, and two, they won't embarrass you when they see some shit that they don't normally see. So like I went and based on this topic, I looked up Sesame Street and I looked up the topics that they have tackled and like, the history of Sesame Street tackling topics that are hard topics. And what I found was, there are a lot of topics that Sesame Street has tackled. They tackled breastfeeding in the 70s, Down syndrome and autism in the 70s. They tackled racism in the 90s, disabilities in the 90s. They tackled 9/11 in 2011. They tackled AIDS and HIV in 2002, death in 2004, military families and families fighting the war in 2005, adoption in 2006, natural hair, which I was very surprised of, in 2010. They tackled that. They tackled divorce in 2012. They tackled incarceration recently. I didn't have the year for that. They also had a Muslim puppet who promoted girls' rights or female rights in 2016. They tackled same-sex marriage in 2019, and now we bring in this opioid. This child dealing with the parent on opioids. I personally, and I don't have children, I do have nieces and nephews, but I feel like your kids gotta know. I personally, and that's why I ask you questions about this, because I want to understand from a parent, like, why y'all be so, like, against kids learning about this real world that's out here in a digestible form. Because even as a parent, you gonna know the hard shit. You probably ain't gonna know how to sing it like a puppet to make it digestible to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old. So, like, why, like, such hostility against these topics?
It's like for me, I just don't want them. I don't think they have to deal with that shit right away. Like, you got all your life to be an adult and have mad shit to deal with. You know what I mean? Just enjoy the innocence of being a kid. You know what I mean? And as things come up, and if you have questions about it, I'll address it. But I don't think it has to be, forced upon people. So that's my only thing. Like, I mean, if it comes up, it comes up.
Let me ask you a question. Let's take it back. Let's take it back to like 1940s and 50s and shit, right? So let's just say Sesame Street was around, right? And you have these white parents that feel like they never have to be around niggas. They never have to deal with niggas. Why would you have an episode where you have a black character on Sesame Street? Like, would you feel the same way? Do you feel like those white kids shouldn't have to deal with black kids until they're out in the adult world?
No, not necessarily, but at the same time, like, I mean, it's fine. It depends on what you're going for shit for. Like, I'm not looking for them to teach my kids to do all that shit. I mean, I want them to watch and learn ABCs and shit like that, and, you know what I mean, and know the alphabet and count and be able to do that shit. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the rest of that life lesson shit. I can do that myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really.
But you said you were going to tackle the question when they ask
it. My kids are very inquisitive. They've asked questions all the time.
But there may be things that might hit them before they're able to ask the question. I mean, you don't want to prepare them?
Yeah, I mean, I'll prepare them, but I just deal with it when I come with it. I mean, I'm not worried about that either, because my kids are very, they're thriving and doing very well, in life. Right. So, and they're very inquisitive. If they ask questions, they'll ask questions. But kids are going to be inquisitive by nature, so they're not going to know everything. And just because, I don't feel like just by exposing them to everything, then that helps either. You know what I mean? So it's just, each his own as far as as far as whatever happens. But for me, I mean, I just don't feel like that has any relevancy in fundamental learning. You know what I mean? In terms of what you're trying to get shit out of. I don't look for Sesame Street to be the go-to of, like, dealing with the reality of the world. Like, I'll help deal with the reality of the world. And then when they go through shit. I have
2 questions. What about the kids who don't have parents that are as good of a parent as you? Where should they go?
I don't know.
Or should Sesame Street only be for kids with good parents?
Nah, I'm not saying that either. I mean, I just feel like certain things are for certain things. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a kid's programming is, if it's, I mean, it's obviously good to have diversity in culture and shit, represented in cartoons and whatever. But at the same time, like, if it's just learning ABCs and shit like that and scholastics, I think that should be separate. You know what I mean? Than anything else.
But obviously, the Sesame Street is not just about.
I didn't know. I wasn't a huge Sesame Street guy, so I don't recall. And if I did, I don't recall any like you know what I mean. Maybe it was unconsciously that I learned some shit, but I don't recall any life lessons that I learned from Sesame Street outside of Big Bird and Cookie Monster and all that other shit.
So in your mind as a parent, what's the worst case scenario you feel like comes out of this new Muppet having a parent with the opioid addiction? What do you feel like the worst case scenario is for your child, or your child being exposed to a child with a parent on opioid?
To that point, but I mean, I don't know.
I mean, but you're adamant about you don't like adamant. It, so you have to think about that.
I just feel like certain things should be in certain places. That's all it is. So I haven't really given it enough thought to say like what the negative aspects of it are, but it's just like,
you just know you don't like it.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. No, I won't even say I won't like it. It's just I'm not a fan of it. I think things should be separate. Like you have categories for certain shit for a reason. So,
you know, that sounds very like high level. That's like when you talk to a Trump supporter and you like, oh, well, why don't you like this? And they don't have an answer. You know what you don't like, but you don't really know why you don't like it.
I just think certain things should be in certain places. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel on certain things. Like certain things should just be relegated to certain things.
Where should that be? Where should a child?
I don't know. I don't got the answers for you, unfortunately. I haven't given enough thought. Maybe if I think about it a little bit more, but off the cuff, I can't really think where it should be.
Yeah, I just think that there are a lot of children dealing with a lot of things, and I feel like children's shows shouldn't just be for the kids with great parents like you and your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that it should be, cause a lot of these children, and just coming from a person that grew up dealing with a lot of things myself, like, you know, when you look at certain things, a lot of times you, as a child, you think that you are alone. You think that, you know, you're the only person that's going through this. Or, you know, I think that shows like this, personally, I feel like it gives, comfort and reality to individuals that, hey, there's a lot of people dealing with this. And although I haven't seen the episode, with this, I think that children are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. I think children are constantly soaking in things. I think that children are just sponges. And I feel like with anything or any topic, the earlier you give them that information within reason and within age range, of course, it makes them better human beings, and they're not shocked by certain things or embarrassed by certain things or suffering in silence with things that they think is so taboo they can't talk to their parents about. So me personally, I'm just gonna get this lit, and I think that it's dope for Sesame Street to tackle these topics and figure out ways to tackle these topics in a way that's digestible for that age range. Of course you can't go and say, you know, oh, your mama fucking pill popper and this why your life is so fucked up. But I'm sure they're giving it in digestible chunks that children of that age. So I think that is shit. I think that is lit. You think that is lit or shit?
I guess it's shit. I don't know. I don't really understand something. Yeah, it's shit. Let's move on.
It makes you uncomfortable?
Nah, I just don't. I'm kind of over it.
Okay. You feel away. I got you. So we're going to wrap up lit or shit on that note. Didn't make you feel uncomfortable, bro. But
I just said I'm not uncomfortable. I just don't really feel like talking about it.
You sound uncomfortable. You sound uncomfortable.
I'm not. I just don't feel like talking about it. Like, you know what I mean?
All right, man. All right. That wraps up lit or shit. Are you in the mood to give out some advice?
Nah, I'm ready to end it. Yeah, go ahead.
We gonna get into Ain't Shit in 2 Cents. Ain't Shit in 2 Cents is our listener letter segment where we clearly don't care about where people clearly don't care about getting advice from people who drink and smoke a lot. Today's letter is from a fairly young listener. Shout out to the young listeners who I didn't think listen to us, because I don't get demographics as far as age. But shout out to Jessica L, who this letter is from, and it says, I am graduating from high school this year.
Jesus.
Right. And my mom would like me to go to college, but I would rather go into the military. I don't want to go to school anymore. I'm pretty much over it. I figured the Air Force would be light work. What do y'all think? And this is from Jessica L, who's clearly about 17 or 18 years old.
One of my homeboy's sons just went to the forces, went to the Air Force, as a matter of fact. And, I was indifferent. I don't know, man. Like, the way this shit is out here and this government shit, like, and how, especially with our president, like, a nigga can hit the button tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? And everybody got to go somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody can strike us, God forbid, you know what I mean? And, or anybody, war can happen basically, right? So war can happen at a fucking moment's notice. And I ain't really with the whole fighting for a country type shit. Like, I mean, I understand it gives you benefits and shit, and it, you know, you could potentially see the world, but you'd also go to fucking Goldsboro in North Carolina, where it's fucking, or Jacksonville or some shit like that with the Air Force. So like, and be stationed there for 5 or 6 years and ain't really, you know what I mean? Or you could be deployed and you gotta go to fucking Afghanistan and then get ready to suit up and shit and kill motherfuckers and then live with that PTSD of being a war vet. So I guess I say, nah, I ain't with that shit. I remember because I was in a similar situation when I graduated high school. Like, I wasn't really doing shit with my life, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't really have a plan. And, I remember shortly after September, I graduated in June, obviously, and September 11th happened. And my mom was like, up until that point, she was like, you need to figure something out. You need to, you know what I mean, do something. You need to go to school. You need to do something, get a job, or, you know, make something of yourself, go to the military. And then like, September 11th hit, and I called like, Mom, you still want me to go to the military? She was like, hell no, not at all. Fuck that shit. I apologize for saying that shit. Like,
timing was on your side.
Yeah, I mean, it was still my decision. I won't go into that shit anyway. Fuck that. But that shit was never even a thought in my mind. So I guess I say, I mean, but you know, some people need that discipline, and you know, depending on where you are in your life. But if I were you, I would, if you don't want to necessarily go to school, get a trade, right? So, you can get a trade, and having a trade will take you just as far as the military will, as long as you have the discipline and the wherewithal to withstand, you know, cause life's gonna come at you. Like when you, like once you get 18, 19, that's when life's like, that's when you're still a kid, but you're becoming a young adult, and that's when you start really learning life. You're gonna make a lot of fucked up decisions at 18 and 19 and 20 and owning. I mean, you're gonna make a lot of fucked up decisions up until you die. But you know,
but they should become less and less.
Yeah, they were few and far between. But when you know, getting those early bumps and bruises and shit, you know, I think I'd rather do it free and not necessarily confined to the rigors of the Air Force or any armed forces for those. I mean, I appreciate all the people that do serve and shit like that, but I'm cool. Like, that shit ain't for me. And it never was. So I would recommend going to college, and if college isn't for you, get a trade. And, like I said, you know, then if you got a while to go to the Air Force. But I'll tell you that,
was it 27?
Nah, that shit older than that now. I think they moved that shit back, cause it's funny you said that, cause my homeboy he was taking photos of his son while his son was getting enlisted and shit. And it was niggas that I know were 40 years old in that bitch. Like, it was a nigga, he looked like.
Were they white?
It was yes, it was white older. People too, but it was also.
He might have been 20.
But it was also like black people that look old. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I was like, damn. That motherfucker old, ain't he? I thought the cutoff was like 24, 25, but nah, I guess you can go later. So, my advice is to go to school or get a job and get a trade. I would definitely get a trade. If you don't go to college, definitely get a trade so that you can always have something to fall back on and be able to do hair or fucking be an electrician or it's mad shit you can do that you'll always have a job with. Carpentry. I don't know if you're good with your hands, not eliminating any women, because there's a lot of women that can do a lot of shit, you know, with their hands. So do something with your hands and your mind, and fuck the Air Force shit or the armed forces period. But shout out to everybody who serves.
I'm kind of very much in the same vein of that. I just want to start this statement off by saying shout out to all of those who choose to fight for this country. Because if it were not for y'all, we would be in a different precarious position. If we didn't have you all. So when I go forward with the rest of my statements, I do not want you to think that I think less of you. I think very highly of you. However, moving along, this country and fighting for this country is crazy. First of all, me personally, I can't put myself personally in a position where my life is on the line every single day. I Can't do that. Second of all, that's too much stress. They don't pay enough. It ain't enough benefits. It ain't enough nothing for that, for me. As far as, you know, the Air Force is concerned, one of the things you said here is that it would be light work. Sweetheart, no matter what branch of the military you go into, and that basic training and all that shit is hard fucking work. So don't think you just about to go chill and fly planes or whatever you think that the Air Force will do. Third of all, whatever point I'm on, I feel like this country totally shits on our veterans when they get back.
That's a fact.
I feel like they use you up and then they spit you the fuck out. Once you're injured or you have PTSD or whatever the case may be, you're fighting to get seen at the VA hospitals. The benefits ain't what you thought they were. Like, the benefits are luxurious while you're fighting and you're not really spending money, or you're in a different country where you don't have to spend money every day and doing all of these things. But I definitely would not advocate for my nieces, my nephews. Speaking of nieces, I'm supposed to have nieces today.
Oh, congratulations.
Twin nieces. They're inducing labor today. So hopefully by the time,
that's dope.
Thank you. By the time I finish this podcast, I may have twin nieces.
Y'all got names already?
Their names are Sky and Rain.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
Yeah, my brother and, his baby mom, are having twins. So that these will be the first twins that I will have access to, like, on a regular basis. Shout out to my current favorite twins, Jada's twins, PJ and Izzy. Love them. Shout out to Night and Dream.
Sugar deal.
All the twins in the world. But I digress. Back on the topic at hand. If you think that the Air Force is just going to be a cakewalk, sweetie, I don't recommend that for you. You don't want to go out here and risk your life when really you could just have your head in some books and better yourself. I am an advocate for college without going into debt. Please let that be the caveat, from a nigga who's still paying student loans and still angry about it on a monthly basis. But I do think that college is a good bridge between, adulthood and childhood. And even if you go for a year or two, I think that that's always good. I think that you should live on campus. I think that you should go to college, at least a few hours away from where you stay. I went to North Carolina. That was 4.5 hours away from where I stayed. That was good enough to where I could get home. And that was good enough to me being away and not being around my same environment. But I think that, you know, based on what B Hill said, if you want to learn a trade. If you just want to get a job and kind of figure it out, I get it. You're young. I get it. We put a lot on our 18-year-olds to go out here and figure out what they want to be, you know, kind of when they grow up. And in one sense, I feel like, yeah, people should get time to figure it out. On the other side of that, I feel like, get your punk ass up and do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to just hang around and chill the fuck out till you decide when you want to be a fucking adult. So, to wrap that up with my spiel, I kind of, agree with your parents on college. However, I feel like if you don't go to college, I personally wouldn't advocate for my child or my nieces or nephews to go to the military, especially not in the political climate that we're in right now. And insane nigga know the codes to the nukes. So, B, you got anything to wrap up to tell Jessica L?
Nah, that's it, man. Just try to make the best decision. You know, I mean, the military wouldn't be you can make worse decisions, obviously. But
unless you're dead,
you know, I mean, me personally, I just wouldn't advise it, you know what I mean? But I mean, I know a lot of people that have made great careers out of the military and have gotten, you know, and yeah, they've retired from the military and they've gotten disability benefits and they're living high on the hog by getting those benefits. And then they also can, like, I know a dude, he retired from the Air Force. He lived in Korea for a little while. Got like 75% disability and then had a good ass fucking job. So he's getting 2 big ass fucking checks. And living good. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to obviously be disabled, but if you meet like they got like pretty wide open, guidelines for, being disabled and shit like that. So, I mean, it's a way, it's a way, but it's just, I personally, that shit just ain't for me. But I mean, looking back at it now, I'm 36. If I would have enlisted when I was 18, I would have been almost fucking done and being able to go, you know what I mean, and live another part of my life. But,
if you were able to live another part of your life, if your brain was still yours.
Yeah. I mean, if I, and I also know people that have gone to fucking Iraq and are fucking nuttier than a fruitcake, you know what I mean? So, like a nigga that, like a nigga I know, he was in a tank and the damn bullet somehow got in, like, I think somebody shot their gun and the bullet was just pinging all around fucking the thing for like, probably, he said what felt for like 10 minutes, but it was probably all of 10 seconds, you know what I'm saying? But like, cause that shit was all metal in there, you know what I mean? So he said that shit pinging around, he trying not to get hit. He's like, that shit fucked him up, and that nigga ended up coming home and like shooting himself with his wife, and like he just shot it, like he lost his marbles. He shot himself and like didn't kill himself though, so now he fucked up.
That's even worse.
For sure. You know what I mean? So, it was a girl I used to work with, it was her and her husband and shit. So she done divorced the nigga and moved on and then had kids, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, that's just something that you gotta keep into consideration. I think that the Air Force is the last resort though. Like Army, Navy, Marines and shit, and then the Air Force. But, I don't know, man. I just personally wouldn't, it wouldn't be an option for me, but, gotta do what's best for you. It's not a horrible mistake or decision rather, but, I would look into other options as well.
Yeah. I just, to wrap my statement up, I just feel like what you need to understand about the military, and I feel like a lot of people don't digest this. When you're in the military, your job is defense. Your job is to fight. Your job is to, a lot of times, even though, you have administrative jobs in the military, but at any given point in time, like, you're there to fight. You're there to kill people. And once you see things, you can't unsee things. Mm-hmm. And that's why people come back not in their right mind, because you can't unsee things. You can't unknow things. And I live by that a lot. Like, it is things that come about and I'll be like, no, I don't want to know. Cause once I know, I can't unknow it. I don't want to see it, because once I see it, I can't unsee it. And I don't know what that's going to do to my psyche. So think about that as well. And just think about, what you want to be when you grow up as of right now. And the great thing about being human and evolving and all of those things is that we can be something today and be something different tomorrow.
Right.
So find some middle ground, with your parents, especially if you're in a position where your parents, will be taking care of you after 18. I don't know if you're black. I'm just assuming that you're black, and black parents like you to get the hell up out.
Which is some bullshit too. We're the only people that do that. We do a lot of fuck shit. Like, I'm not looking back. I'm not, like, I was kicked out early, but that shit is dumb. Like, you're not 18 years old, you're not ready equipped to handle life. At 21, you know what I mean? Like, it makes more sense to have them foster that relationship as long as they're abiding by your rules and doing, most of what you say in terms of respecting your house. Let them niggas grow and get money and, have
What does
something.
Growing look like? What does growing look like? Like,
for me,
would you require your kids to get like a job or something, or can they just chill?
Nah, fuck no. I ain't chilling.
Okay, got you.
Nah, nigga, you got bills. Like, you gonna learn life. You know what I mean? Like, going back to your point, I guess earlier, you gonna learn life. You gonna have bills. You gonna have, you know what I mean? Like, nah, hell no. You're of age to be able to work a full-time job. If you're not doing something, you got to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. But you would hope that, like for me, I was I always had some shit going on. I couldn't just sit in the house all day. You know what I'm saying? And,
I was ready to dip.
Yeah, but see, like, I wanted to get my own shit, but like, we kick our kids out. Like, we get them 18 and niggas is out. Like, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Nah, don't do that shit, man. Like, help them niggas have a sturdy foundation, as long as they showing the initiative and whatnot, you know what I mean? As long as they're getting up and doing their best, y'all can stay here. But I mean, help out around the house. You got bills and shit. Like, I'm teaching you life.
At what point is the kick out point? At what point or age do you kick them out the nest?
When you ain't doing shit and you disrespecting the house. You know what I'm saying? And disrespecting the house is not doing shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you see me, if I get up and take my ass to work every day, and I've been doing that for the entire part of your life, And now you get 18 and you have the opportunity to do something. You're not going to school. You don't have a trade or anything like that. Nah, you want to do something. You want to get your ass out. And then if you continuously disrespect my rule, like you're not cleaning up and you're not doing X, Y, and Z, and then, talking back and being defiant, then go ahead and do your own thing. But I mean, if you doing for the most part, like everything that you should be doing, I'll let you stay at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to have a good solid foundation. Like, you know what I mean? When you feel confident enough to be able to go and get your own, where you don't have to struggle and, come back this motherfucker, like establish yourself to the point where you ain't got to come back. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like I'm kicking you out, as long as, like, that's how my plan is. Like, cause like I said, I was kicked out. So, it made me who I was. Looking back, I'm appreciative because, like I said, I kind of had to figure it out myself. But at the same time, like, that ain't something, everybody ain't built like that. You know what I'm saying? So if my kids, I could see that they're not necessarily ready for that life or that phase of life, I'm still, try to foster and nurture, that, and then cultivate it and kind of help, bring it about. Cause, once you start paying bills and shit and realize how, like, when the income and the outcome and all that shit like that, you realize, like, that's when you become an adult. You know what I mean? When you got to pay shit and take care of responsibilities on a monthly basis. That's when, so if I can help you learn that process, I mean, I'm gonna be doing it way before then, like niggas are definitely getting jobs when they're able to do something, or, I mean, if they're not heavy in school or sports or something and you're able to get a job, you getting a fucking job. Like, cause I ain't paying car insurance. I ain't, I mean, I'll buy you a car, but I ain't putting gas in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't doing, like, you gotta show some initiative, and that's how I was, I had a job since I was 14, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I could work, I had a job. So I've been on my shit, and I was hustling and selling candy and all that shit. I always was like, I had a business mind, like just early on.
So how do we teach I think that we run parallels in regards to certain things like that, right? So I've had a job since I was 14 years old. My motivation was, my mom said, look, I have 4 motherfucking kids. I'm not buying you all this expensive shit that you want. Yeah. So if you want this shit, you gotta work for it. And that in turn started teaching me a work ethic and knowing that shit just don't come free. You know what I'm saying? So when you're raising these, I like to say black-ish kids because of the show. And when I say black-ish kids, I mean like kids that have it way better than what we had. Like, how do you make sure that you're raising kids that will be prepared?
I mean, shit, that shit just start with chores and shit. Like, y'all niggas get up, as they get older, the more and more responsibility gets put on them. Like, you know what I mean? They're responsible now for getting their clothes out in the morning. You know what I mean? Getting it. If they want it ironed, they need to get it ironed to me to have it ironed. And then, cause I ain't really fucking with the whole iron shit, but they're responsible for getting their clothes. You're responsible for having no TV before you wash your face and TV. Like, it's a certain order. So you just gotta.
That's dope.
Yeah, I do all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, when you finish your food, put that shit up. You know what I mean? Load the dishwasher, shit like that. I can't, like, when the trash cans, I take the trash cans to the street because they heavy, but when y'all get out of school, these trash cans need to be on this fucking thing before I get home. You know what I'm saying? So you just, And
how old are your kids? 5?
6. My son 3.
That's dope.
Yeah, you still gotta remind them, you know what I mean? But
yeah, of course, but
yeah, hell yeah.
Most people be like, oh, they just said.
Oh, nah, fuck that.
They don't need to know that.
Get your clothes out and have them ready. Wash your face, brush your teeth before you goddamn watch any TV in the morning. All that shit, you know what I mean? Like have your book bag, put your book bag, put all that shit up, have all your folders out, get all your assignments, let me see your folders, shit like that. So I'm getting them regimented to understand the reality of life, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I fuck with that.
So, I mean, I'm still a black, I'm still the way my mom, like, I won't fucked up. Like, my mom, my mom and dad, they climbed the ranks, you know what I'm saying? As far as apartment, townhouse, house, you know what I'm saying? Like, they did that, you know what I mean? And always had nice shit, but they also showed me the value of working. Like, my dad took care of everything, you know what I'm saying? And my mom, her money was her money when she worked and shit. And then, like, she would, do shit for me, but at the same time, like, she would say, hey, like, I got X amount of dollars, you know what I'm saying? If you want X, Y, and Z, you're going to have to come to the table with some shit. So, open bank accounts early. My kids got bank accounts, all that shit. Go to the bank with me and shit.
Dope.
Yeah, all that shit.
That's dope. I think, as far as being an aunt versus a parent, that's where the struggle comes in for me, because there are things that I would like to ingrain in my nieces and nephews that I've learned that I would like to ingrain in them, that I don't necessarily, and this is not a diss at all, that I don't necessarily feel like they're characteristics that their parents have. So, but because I'm not around them every day, I can't do that.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
You know what I'm saying? That is the hard part of, wanting to give kids the tools. It's different when we're two adults and we're talking about something. And you give me the tools, I give you the tools. Like you and I just had a conversation about property investment and shit like that, right? We're adults. That could be a one conversation and then I can go along and prosper. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when we're talking about kids, it has to be over and over again. And if their parents, don't have the same experiences or perspectives that you have, it's hard to give them these particular tools that would definitely help them in the long run.
It is, but at the same time, like, all you can do is control. All you can control is what you can control, right? So you can't control what their parents do. So all you can do is every time that you with them, every moment is as impactful as it possibly can be. You know what I mean? And that shit will, cause I remember shit from, like, my daddy and shit, and my daddy ain't really fish like that, but I remember going fishing with my uncle and I remember shooting guns and shit like that. So like shit like that's gonna stick with them. So certain life lessons that you may not feel like just because it was on maybe, within a weekend's time, that shit's still gonna land and make an impact one way or another. You know what I mean? So like all you can do, like I said, is control what you can control. Cause like I got nieces and nephews and shit that I don't be around as much, but like, my oldest niece, she's smart as hell. I just be sending her 16, 19 podcasts. Like I'll send her some shit like, boom, listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she was like, damn, that was wild. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you can't do everything that you can't do everything obviously on a day-to-day basis, but it's the way technology is and shit like that. And when you are around them, you just gotta make it impactful. So like, I got a nephew that's not my blood, Deshaun, that he ain't my blood, but like, he my nephew. Like I've known that nigga all his life and I've like always give him wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like all the fucking time. And he always be telling me like, yeah, I remember when you told me X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, I don't even remember that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like you impart wisdom and they look up to us. You know what I'm saying? So whatever game you can give them at any given time, you know what I'm saying? Especially obviously face to face, but that shit definitely means a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I know it meant a lot to me.
I think that's good fucking advice. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's good fucking advice because a lot of times, like as an aunt, like I feel like helpless sometimes. Yeah. Like I feel like sometimes, especially with my nieces getting older, one of my nieces just turned 14 last week. Shout out to Naima. She just turned 14.
Happy birthday.
Then my other niece, happy birthday. And then my other niece is 13. These are my two oldest nieces. And I am at the stage where I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you kids are into. Yeah, I'm old like that. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, so this what y'all like? This what y'all into? So I kind of feel like when I'm around, of course, they Aunt Sean, and I feel that bond, you know what I'm saying? And I try to kick this shit to them as much as I can. But when I'm away, I don't necessarily feel that I'm making an impact. So I think it kind of like frustrates me. Yeah. And then I know that I can't be upset with their parents because their parents haven't lived the life that I lived to be able to give them the tools that I can give them. Mm-hmm. Not saying that their parents can give them other tools that I can't. I'm just saying the tools that I personally have, I feel like I can't give that. But I feel like what you said was very impactful.
So you show a motherfucker how to use a wrench one time, they might know. You know what I'm saying? So like, facts. You know what I mean? Just cause like your toolbox may be different from theirs, but the tools that you give them is something that they can still use. Like you might be able to show them something once or twice and that shit makes an impact. Like when they get to 22 and 23, like, yeah, damn, I remember that. I remember going to Atlanta and spending the weekend with my Aunt Sean and, you know what I mean? She took me X, Y, and Z and showed me this. Like that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like, cause I draw back from a lot of my memories as a child, you know, certain things that I did and, or wish I would have done or, you know what I mean? Or somebody told me and shit. So, you know, you'd be surprised. Like you said, we don't give credit to the kids as much credit as we should. So a lot of the shit that we do is very impactful one way or another. So, you know, just obviously be mindful for the negative shit, but all the shit that you, I mean, the positivity that you pour into somebody, it may not, you know what I mean, ripple up right then, but it's gonna make a lasting impression, you know, especially if you're doing it out of love.
I think that's profound. So. I think that's profound as fuck. I fuck with that. I fuck with all of that because, like I said, I've been in, you know, and just with teenagers becoming teenagers and doing the shit that teenagers do. Like some shit I'd be like, all right, I understand it. We all did it. However, you know, you don't want your child, your teenager doing that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because now it's the same shit. It's a cycle. It's the same shit that people told to us and we thought it was too grown for.
All that shit, yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta put your hand on that.
It's just the technology different.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I think that was good. So we're going to get into free smoke, and free smoke is going to be, really short because I feel like kind of this conversation has kind of spilled into free smoke, which was all been good information. So shout out to Jessica, Jessica
Make a good
L.
decision, sweetheart. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And, you know, if any of you want any of this A1 advice, please write into the ain'tshitshow@gmail.com and your letter may get read on the show. And that's an X where the I would be. Now, for free smoke, free smoke is where we talk about hot button personal topics, and it can be anything from politics to petty. It can be anything we want to talk about. I actually had 3 questions today, but since B and I went so far down that road, which I feel like was good information,
engineering.
Exactly. I'm gonna relegate this free smoke to this one question, and we can talk about the others on a later podcast. My question, B, is who gets to say the word nigga?
Black people.
And let me give the audience a little bit of background information. So this question always comes up. Who gets to say the word nigga? There are individuals who feel like if you grew up in the community, and I put community in air quotes, you get to say the word nigga. There are individuals who are like, no one should say the word nigga. Like, fuck that. That's a fucked up word. No one should say it. There's other people who say, you know, we get to say it. We've turned the word around to mean something else, but only we get to say it. Actress Gina Rodriguez is facing heavy backlash for using the word nigga on her IG story. She was, singing the Fuji song, and she was singing, frontin' niggas give me heebie-jeebies, believe me. And that, and the Fuji song, Ready or Not. And then last week I heard Remy Ma defending Fat Joe on State of the Culture and him being able to use the word nigga. Who gets to use the word nigga, B?
That shit is hard because I love Fat Joe. And like that's my nigga. He's one of my favorite artists ever. But I guess, I think Fat Joe's possibly the only motherfucker that I've ever like given a pass to. Like, well, I won't say that. The whole Terror Squad period, because I fuck with them.
It's a lot of Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, mad Spanish
Hispanic, people. Latinx people that we give the pass to say nigga.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I used to be TS. I used to be Terror Squad. Me and all my homeboys used to listen to a bunch
nigga
of
had the chain.
I would have. Mother would have gave me out. I'd definitely rocked that bitch. I mean, honestly, white people, you can't say it. First and foremost, like, you can't say it. Like, let's just get that out in the air. Like,
what if they grew up in the hood?
Nah. Cause theirs come with racial prejudice regardless. Like, it's just a stigma associated with white people in the world.
What if they have a black baby mama, a black baby daddy?
They should be real enough to not even want to say it. Like, I know mad white people that like that grew up with us and like my homeboys and shit from, you know, from the mud. and got black baby mamas and are, light skin is what we call them. But they respect niggas enough to never even, I won't even say wiggers. That's too close to niggas. They just light skin is what I call them. Like just cool white people. You know what I mean? But they respect black people enough they understand what the severity of that word and the connotations and the denotations of that word and the historical aspect of it. So they wouldn't even, disrespect themselves or black people by saying that. So I fuck with that. Right. But, it's hard, like Spanish people, like New York is a different breeding ground, right? Like, because I've only been in New York. It's more of a melting pot? Yeah, it's more of a melting pot. And, obviously, like in the hoods, it's predominantly black, but it's a lot of Puerto Ricans and shit who, by association, they just feel like, they're accustomed and victims and, I guess a part of the culture to the point where they feel like they're black people and I respect until they go home and eat play their salsa music and do their fucking Spanish. But,
and conquito.
Yeah, the conquito and shit. I guess it's a fine line. I mean, when Fat Joe be saying it shit be feeling kind of wild, but I'm so used to it. I mean, it don't, but I know like that to other people it's gonna feel some type of way. Cause he says that shit like, he get that shit up, you know what I mean? Like he black is black, but like he just seemed like a black person though, you know what I'm saying? Like he just seems like he's so entrenched and immersed and like he's been a part of like culture for so long that like it ain't not a bit of racism, associated with it. But again, like.
So it's about your intentions. Like is your heart pure when you say nigga?
Like I think if a white person call him nigga, he gonna turn up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna be like, he gonna feel, he gonna turn like, who the fuck you talking to type shit. You know what I'm saying? Not in like, I ain't no nigga, I'm a fucking Boricua or whatever. He gonna be like, oh, you trying to insinuate, you know what I'm saying? Like, you speaking to me derogatorily regardless. And I think he gonna turn up and I think he will protect black people and all that. So, I don't know. This is difficult. I guess it's a case by case basis in terms of like other ethnicities, but like more times than not, like, yeah, it should just be relegated to black people, but I guess like New Yorkers and shit, it's not as bad, I guess. I don't fucking know. Shit.
I think that I think that you touched on something, very interesting that is kind of part of my thought process. It's kind of, do you personally identify that person as someone black or black enough? Mm-hmm. Right? So we talk about people like Fat Joe, right? So at a very high level, the way that I think of it is if you are Latinx as far as Puerto Rican, Dominican, right? And maybe some other Afro-Latina cultures that I'm not mentioning right now. If you kind of identify with black, and it's a personal opinion, right? So it's like no right or wrong. It's like a personal opinion, whether you identify, as black or being a part of the black community, because there was a lot of backlash to say, oh, well, Gina Rodriguez can't say it, but Cardi B can say it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think Cardi B is black. You know what
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's that New York Puerto Rican shit is different because them niggas is like, they all sound the same and they all move the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah.
But I would kind of feel a way if J-Lo said it.
Yeah, cause she like the white and she light skinned and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel you though.
It's confusing. It is. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to kind of make a case. Yeah, like either way.
That's why I was struggling. You know what I mean? Cause like I said, I fuck with Joe. Like, and it's been mad.
I think that I agree with you about like, do I feel like you have malice or ill intention in your heart when you say the shit? But if I'm going to make that case, I feel like you could be fucking Chad that grew up
you can't.
In the fucking hood around all black people. Your mom was dating black people. Your dad just happened to be white, and you all about the culture, but you say that shit and the record gonna scratch, and we gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, nah. I mean, they can't, because they invented they didn't invent it. Nigger comes from Niger, which is from Africa, and that's what we were called originally. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But nah, nigger is some shit that the white man made up to just another instrument for oppression. You know what I mean? So.
Correct.
So nah, just because of that, no, it's barred. Like, and if you say it, then you get these hands.
So basically, you're saying that if you kind of the way that it's being described, and I'm not debating it, I'm really just thinking it through. If you're white, period, you shouldn't say it, regardless of what it is.
There's nothing. There's no,
so is the
caveats.
only passes for Afro-Latinas or Latinx individuals? Cause I kind of felt the way about Tekashi saying nigga.
I did too. Cause I know he was a pussy.
Tekashi like that. True.
You know what I mean? Like, Fat Joe, you know Fat Joe solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Like, niggas got mad with fucking, so our original conversation tonight was gonna be about rappers, and it was based off Joe Budden's, the views on Logic. And Logic is mixed, right? But
he's a white man.
Like, niggas don't like, and let me backtrack a little bit. I use fucking niggas as a noun.
For sure.
It could be a person, place, or thing, right? And I just say niggas. It don't have nothing to really do with race when I say nigga, right? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I'm giving y'all background as the way that I use it. But like, Logic is mixed. He's mixed.
But that's a white man.
But they won't let Logic be great. They won't let Logic say nigga. Like, they won't let Logic do nothing because he looked like a certified public accountant.
For sure. Or he looked like a mass shooter. He like Jeffrey Dahmer for real.
Shooter. Facts, he kind of do look like Jeffrey Dahmer. Like Jeffrey Dahmer who went to Jamaica for the weekend. Like, just a slight.
Yeah, he got like, a little hue to him.
Yeah, and I've talked to African Americans who are just like, yeah, I don't use that word XYZ, and I respect.
I dig it.
I would love to get to that place of evolution. I really, really would. But my disclaimer to those individuals are, let me apologize in advance, because I use that word a lot, and like I said, I use it as a noun. This phone could be a nigga. You could be a nigga. My job could be a nigga.
For sure.
Like, that's just nigga. A white person could be a nigga. Like, anything could literally be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So when I say it don't necessarily pertains to race, but I don't feel like that necessarily makes it right for me to say it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just walking in my truth and who I am right now on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But I always apologize. I'll be like, look, I use that word a lot, and I apologize in advance if I offend you, but really, if you rocking with me, this the only way I could be. Know that I don't mean that to be offensive, because I really do respect black people who don't use that word.
Absolutely.
I really, really.
Cause my mom and dad really don't use that shit like that. Like, now, I mean, they might say it, you know, like kind of in a disgusting, you know what I mean? Like, this nigga here, you know what I mean? Some shit. But my mom and dad, they don't use that shit. Like, not a lot of my people, like, none of my older family members use that shit like that. Like, I mean, but again, they were also.
I need to audit that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, like, my mom don't use that shit. Like, you know, I guess when you call that shit for so many years and you've heard it way longer, you know what I mean?
When you've actually been in a place where that word, I mean, that word gets used now, but we just use it to beat people ass versus them beating your ass. No, I feel that. And I need to audit that and see how that's used on my family. But I know the only time my mom kind of gets offended is when I call kids niggas. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I call everything niggas. Right. Like, I'll be like, this little nigga just walked in here, or I'm quick to call a kid a niglet. Like, this fucking niglet, like, walked in here, and my mom like, oh, don't call them kids that. And I'll be like,
Yeah, I try not to. Yeah, like I don't
and
want to
then
do that
like
shit.
fucking 15 minutes later, I do.
Yeah,
but I'm not proud of that, people. I'm definitely not proud of that. Oh man. So basically, the end of this free smoke is we don't know who use nigga.
For sure.
All we do know is white people you can't use.
Yeah,
nigga.
we do know that. Run up, get done up.
So right now, the only question is basically, can Latino people use nigga?
Yeah.
Cause it's basically like black people.
If they identify with Afro, Latino, or Latin, then yeah, y'all good.
Yeah.
until you say that shit derogatorily, then I'm on your ass. But otherwise, y'all just, it's alright.
But just like in concerts, when you're singing your favorite song like Gina Rodriguez or whatever the case may be, you have to use nigga at your own discretion.
Yeah.
Because the way that myself or B Hill may react may not be the same way that another nigga's gonna react to you saying the word nigga, and you could get your ass beat. So when we go to the black meeting, we don't discuss who's able to say nigga and who's not. So just understand your environment and understand what you're saying audibly versus what you're saying in your head versus when you're singing a song. And I would recommend, if you are a celebrity of any kind that's not black or Afro-Latina or Latino, you should just stay away from the word period, because you could lose your whole career over that. And that was a message from our sponsors. I want to thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all subscribe to the show and check us out on our website, www.theaintshitshow.com. That's the X where the I will be, and follow us on social, man. That's Twitter, IG, Facebook, and we're also available for listen on not only our website, but YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple, all that, and rate us and do all of those fun things. And y'all know we like to tell a friend to tell a friend. Always remember that. And thank you for our numbers steadily increasing.
For sure.
I love y'all. And we like to end this show with a quote. And today's quote is, actions prove, let me repeat this and do it slow. Actions prove who someone is. Words just prove who they pretend to be. Until next week, I want y'all to be great and the marathon continues.
Yep.
And we out.